All right. The Hangout is now live. Da da da. Da da da. I'm gonna pause this. All right. Sorry if you guys are hearing me grunt nonstop. It's just me trying to get through. Now, I just want to know to anyone watching this right now, to anyone that's live with me right now, is my mic okay? Is it a bit too loud? I'm gonna see if I actually can make my audio a bit lower. So is my mic fine? Is it okay? I just want to know this real quick. The Dillofillo. Yes, I am the Dillofillo. I just want to make sure real quick because I am doing this a bit differently. Mike's fine. All right, good. Just want to make sure. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So, yeah. It seems like we already got a bit of a crowd, but what I want, the reason why it's titled is because I actually want to talk about the Godzilla anime trilogy, and of course the new film because it came out recently, and I want to talk about my issues with it. And I won't talk about the new film a whole lot because, of course, I haven't seen it yet. But I will talk about for what I've heard, and yes, there will be spoilers. So leave now if you don't want that. There you go. Also, be talking about the IDW comics a bit and other stuff, just kind of random stuff, things that are related to Godzilla and all that. And it should be really fun. I'm not going to share this live stream out. I'm not going to go out of my way to share it. Maybe on Instagram a bit, but other than that, I'm not. I don't really have the intended purpose on doing it. Yuko Tani is the worst girl. Yes, yes, she is. Well, who? Okay, I wouldn't say she's the worst, but she's in the realm of worst girls in Godzilla. There's only a few I could really think of at the moment being worst girls. But I can't really. Mako from not Mako. I mean Miki from the Heisei series. I thought there was a Godzilla character named Mako. There probably is, but of course, the only character I really know of that's named Mako is the Liddy one from Pacific Rim. At least Audrey was a bitch, so she has a personality. Yeah, yeah. Yuko is just senpai, senpai, oh senpai, oh dear senpai. Yeah, I might share this one. I'll have to do it through other means. A bit complicated, I know, but I'll do it. I'll survive. I'm a survivor. So, yeah, how's everyone days going before I start this? Before I start sharing this, I will not give up. All right, I got that. Also, 1,000 subscribers. I've not really talked about that a whole lot, but yes, I hit 1K and it's awesome. So here I'll share it on the Kaiju shitposting Discord. Pretty glitty Discord, if you ask me. There we go. I got that. As a kid, I thought God Animals GF was the same chick that was one the Hitman and Dumb and Dumber. Maybe, maybe. Why did Wops ruin Godzilla in 1954? I don't know. All right, just getting this more out there. You post it on Twitter. Also, I should probably discuss real quick on the reason why the live streams have calmed down so much to the point where they're rarely being made, and I'll get to that. There, I got that. So yeah, it's a bit slow now, but once we get going, we should be fine. Sorry for you guys might be a bit irritated by this. All right, Facebook. I don't like Facebook. I don't really use it a lot. but I just mainly use it to share my stuff and maybe comment a little bit here and there. So Toku Legion is usually the part that gets my stuff last because since they have to check what gets posted here because of course 2015 was not a good year for Toku Legion. All right. And then Geeks for Geeks. And yeah, that's about it. I got 6 people waiting on me to talk about this shit. Oh boy. And then Instagram. It's the last place I usually get to because this is kind of the more complicated stuff. Do I want to know what happened to Toku Legion? Oh, just a bunch of people kept posting a bunch of stuff on there that, of course, caused a lot of arguments. So, like things related to Godzilla '98 and all that. A lot of people didn't like that, so now so now Toku Legion had to go in and shape everything up. All right. All right. There we go. Ooh. Ooh, there we go. Okay. So now let me get into I've not seen Deadpool 2. So now let me get into um my the reason why live streams have calmed down. And it's for mainly 3 reasons. One, I don't want to do live streams so much to the point where I get tired of it and it becomes the same thing as what the Saturday Night live stream thing was. Because I did actually have a series before this called Saturday Night Live Stream. And while it was fun, it ultimately just kind of went downhill and it lost its focus what it originally was supposed to be. And it just died. It died. It crashed and burned. And I lost interest of doing it. So I decided just to take long breaks with live streams and do them on more special occasions or just whenever it feels like a live stream fits and seems necessary for the channel. Whenever like the content's kind of dire, like there's not a whole lot of stuff, so I just need to kind of put a live stream out there to kind of clean it up a bit. So there's that. 2, I got a podcast series now with Dr. Mifune and Titan Goji. So doing live streams while also doing the podcast just seems repetitive. And 3, I want to focus more of my time on just making content. I got 3 videos in the making. One is weird because I was editing it on a computer, but then I had to get it off that computer, and now I have to edit it on my phone now. And so it's gonna be really weird because obviously you could tell by how it is. Like there's gonna be a little bit of a there's gonna be a little bit of a weird quality change. Now I'm going to try to keep it as consistent as I can and try to keep it as good as I can. But there is going to be a bit of a quality change. So yeah, there's nothing worse than burnout. I feel you. Yeah, burnouts, man. That like 2016, especially 2017, just burned me out. I couldn't make the content as I wanted. But then I got a top 10 favorite Godzilla monster series I got going. That one is going to take a bit longer than all the others just because I'm figuring out exactly how I want to do the video. And then I also recorded a video today about my thoughts on the Godzilla Toho Cinematic Universe thing that's going on in like 2021 and all that. So yeah, I made that. I'm pretty excited to get that video done and uploaded for you guys to watch. So yeah. So that is the reason why my live streams are not coming out as often. They're coming rarer and rarer because of it. Because I also noticed this, that on the live streams before, it was always like the same people always joining. It was always Mifune, Titan Goji, and Kaiju Noir. It was always them. It was nobody really new. And nothing against them. It was more against me because I never branched out and actually invited people that invited people or anything. Like I just kept my group of 3 and moved on. And that was it. And I never really did anything else besides that. So, and so with that, I kind of felt like it would start feeling samey and was just start kind of feeling But what a fucking time to be a fan. Yes, yes, yes. But that also leads into the Godzilla anime trilogy that I'll get into. But it just got a bit repetitive in terms of bringing the people in. It got samey. And so overall, I also feel like that wasn't necessarily good. That's why my last live stream, I didn't invite anyone because I kind of wanted to make it different from the last like 3 episodes. I want to make it kind of stick out a bit more. One, it's shorter, so it's a little bit easier for people to sit through and listen to the entire thing. But two, it's just me, and I know some people might not actually come to my live streams just for me. They probably just come to watch other people. But yeah, I wanted to kind of change it up a bit. Um, Not to sound gay, but what? Yeah, I already read that. Jivakuda destroys Federal Reserve shill. Not clickbait. King Kong lives in a society. That's good. Niggas if he Blicky got that Stevia. Total epic gamer style. Yes, Dan Schneider. Dan, hold her tighter. She's a fighter, Schneider. Ready Player One is Spy Kids 3 for Reddit incels. I didn't like Ready Player One, and I thought the book was worse than the movie. It's garbage. Fuck it. And so, oh man, what I want to talk about? Oh yeah, the Godzilla anime trilogy. Now, when I first saw Godzilla Monster Planet or Godzilla Planet of the Monsters, I had a positive reaction when it first came out. I enjoyed it. I liked all the I liked all the stuff they had in. I liked all the ideas and world building they had in the movie, and everything to do with Godzilla. I really enjoyed. But as time went on, my impression of the film, my opinion of the film lessened and lessened to the point where now it's one of my least favorite Godzilla movies. It's boring. There's not really a whole lot to it, and while there are some moments where it's intriguing, while there are some moments where it's intriguing, and I always say everything to do with Godzilla is pretty fun. 60% of the movie is just 60-70% of the movie is just exposition, barely any character stuff, and just the main character Haru always being sad or mad all the time. And it just honestly didn't. It just didn't work with me. The original film, my taste for it lessened, and I honestly am not too big of a fan of it. I'm not going to go after the animation towards it because I think it's pretty clear that Toho just didn't give Polygon Pictures a big enough budget. It just kind of has that low budget quality to it. And of course, it is subjective in terms of if you like it or not. I'm pretty all right with the animation. I'm okay with it. The only thing that kind of gets on my nerves is the color palette. That's really about it. So yeah. But overall, got the Godzilla Monster Planet just wasn't that great. And with that comes the sequel. Now, I mentioned I won't talk about it a whole lot, but I will talk about spoilers here. So leave now, come back later. I don't know. I can't predict time. But the Godzilla, the city on the edge of battle, was, for what I heard, not so good. Now, of course, people have heard positive things, but I hear more negative things as well. For what I heard, Mechagodzilla's like basically not in the movie. Yeah, he might be, but it's more Mechagodzilla City than actual Mechagodzilla. So you don't actually see Mechagodzilla movie, even though he's like all over the marketing. They even made a fucking toy of him. So yeah, Mechagodzilla is basically non-existent. Now the thing is, I know some people should say, "Oh, don't judge it on that. Don't judge it like that." Thing is, the only reason why I was excited for the movie, the only way I actually had some form of, oh, I can't wait until this comes out because of Mechagodzilla. I'm a huge Mechagodzilla fan. And knowing that the main thing I came to see the movie, the main thing I came to watch the movie for isn't even in the fucking movie, I almost lost complete interest. And the reason why I say almost is because it's a Godzilla movie. That's already kind of piqued my interest. And of course, I've got to watch it probably 3 times when it comes out on Netflix. Which, by the way, me and my 2 co-hosts on their Evil Share Haunted podcast recorded 5 episodes recently dedicated to Mechagodzilla, and they're all commentaries. So that's going to be pretty fun. And we're going to release it for the Netflix release of Godzilla: the City on the Edge of Battle. Uh, which, funny enough, we basically had this entire commentary thing about Mechagodzilla, hyping up the fact that Mechagodzilla was going to return in a new movie, besides, Ready Player One, but one where he was actually relevant to the plot from beginning to end. And the next thing you know, we realized that he's not even in the movie. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. Also, I heard it's basically the same thing in terms of characters and all this, in terms of structure, as the first film was. I heard the actually only interesting part was the first act, and that was about it. That's when everything just kind of feels the same thing, or just feels like exposition, or character development feels rushed. Like, I actually heard the final fight is basically just a more exaggerated version of the Godzilla versus Philius fight and the Godzilla Earth reveal at the end of Monster Planet. That's basically what it was. And I'm just there like, okay, so for one, the thing I wanted to see is not in the movie. And two, the climax is basically Monster Planet again, just more exaggerated, more streamlined. That's it. Okay. And yeah, that was really it for me. I'm not excited for the third film. Yes, Ghidorah's back, but at the same time, why would I be excited for an anime trilogy that already has a first film that's disappointing? Well, more of a first film that I don't like, and now a sequel that I'm not too excited for. Why would I be excited for the third film when I should be more excited for Godzilla 2 King of the Monsters, coming out next year, early 2019. I feel like I should be more excited for, Mechagodzilla. I feel like I should be more excited for Godzilla 2 more than Godzilla Planet Eater, Star Eater, whatever. Yeah, the trilogy is a bigger cock tease than anything 2014. They shouldn't be original. The first one should have been the book. Thing is, I feel like one of the biggest things that really dragged down the anime was that they decided to throw so much shit in their prequel stuff. Like, I feel like if they just went back a bit and just more showed of how the world came to be through Godzilla and not referencing all the other shit that came before it, then I actually think it could. I actually think people wouldn't be as mad with Monster Planet. But since they went ahead and just said everything they had in the prequel and put so many kaijus in there, ultimately everybody just sat back and went, all right. So you had this huge epic story of all these kaijus, and yet your film is just another solo Godzilla movie. Oh, not solo, they're serving, but that's about it. So yeah. Like a super cut of the trilogy, condense the whole trilogy into one actually good movie. Yeah, I could do that, or actually just put it into show form, actually do that, make it into a TV show. Because I actually do think this show would have worked better if it was a 12 to 15 episode anime. It would have worked better, because with that you would probably have a bit more time to develop your characters, but also a little bit more time, because if it's just a 12 episode anime and it's just one season, we'll be able to follow on the film just fine. Follow up the series just fine from episode 1 to whatever last episode it is, and we probably wouldn't really complain too much about the characters. But since we got 3 films coming up, it kind of makes it harder. So yeah, the second movie should have been Godfather Part 2 and be a prequel and sequel that goes back and forth in one movie. That could be that solo Godzilla movie. Oh, fuck's sakes. We need more Mechagodzilla, my niggas. I got a water bottle next to me, guys. So yeah, the Godzilla anime stuff does not interest me anymore. Actually, like I mentioned, that's kind of going back on my words. I did mention I have a little bit of interest for the sequel because it's a Godzilla movie, and I of course, Godzilla movie, I have to watch it, and that's really about it for me. Other than that, I'm moving on. I don't really care too much, and yeah, that's it. Yep. That was pretty short. Talk about the anime stuff. Oh well, that was 20 minutes, maybe 15. But yeah, the Sunburn of the Godzilla anime trilogy. So yeah, that's it. I will say the toys are pretty neat. The toys are pretty neat. My main mindset is this: don't care for the movies, only care for the merchandise, because the toys are pretty neat. Take the time to make a better Mechagodzilla 2 podcast. I don't know. That episode 2 was pretty raunchy in terms of what we said in it. Just give you a little sneak peek of that episode, the Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 1993 episode. Let's just say this: we recorded it 2:00 a.m. in the morning. That's when it first started, and we ended it around 4:00 a.m. in the morning. So, yeah, that should probably tell you how it felt like for us. You know, every other episode, we felt pretty woke up. But that episode, we got sleepy. And with that, we said some pretty ridiculous stuff. I plan on getting a few figures that Chief has. Yeah, like that Mechagodzilla figure that's coming out. I'll snatch that if I have the money. Oh, that Godzilla Philius and Godzilla Earth are getting their own. They got their own Godzilla 6-inch movie monster series figures. I'll grab those too. I wouldn't really invest on getting like an X Plus. Well, no, the X Plus is pretty neat. The X Plus is actually really cool. I will say this: the reason why I like Monster Planet design is because when I look at a design like Rado Goji and compare it to the Monster Planet one, both are similar, but Rado Goji just looks awkward. Well, the Monster Planet one to me actually does what Rado Goji was trying to do, or at least the style of Rado Goji, and does it 10 times better, in my opinion. Mechagodzilla 93 makes me sleepy even if it isn't late. Yeah. Do you guys still refer to anime Goji as Dad Goji? No, we refer to him as Godzilla Earth now. Because for the longest time, of course, we thought we didn't know exactly that there was 2 Godzillas shown in the trailer, so we just kind of called them Dad Goji because they look like a dad. And I guess that was true because one of them did turn out to be dead. By the way, this anime stuff is so predictable. I've had people tell me about what's going to happen in this anime trilogy or what's going to happen in each film, and for the most part, they're pretty correct. Like, I remember one guy looked at the trailers and went, yeah, Godzilla looks a little different in the shot. Most likely what's going to happen is that Godzilla is going to appear. You're going to kill him. Turns out that's Godzilla's son, and the bigger Godzilla shows up and wipes out humanity. Some guy actually predicted that to me in one of the Discord chats around that time. And we all just went kind of, maybe it's just a different angle. But sooner or later, he actually convinced us that, no, Godzilla obviously looks different in these shots. And he looks bigger too. So he actually convinced us that those were 2 different Godzillas. And guess what? He was right. That's exactly what it was. When Shin Goji blocks us, but still uses our Dad Goji hashtag. Yeah, we basically like started that up. You know, the whole Dad Goji thing. So yeah, but now it's time to move on from anime trilogy and I'll talk about IDW Godzilla comics and where the hell they've been. Now, I want to give my opinion off of every single one of them, and I'm going to try to do it in order. Hopefully, I'm actually going to look them in order, like see what by release, because I'm going to get confused. I'm probably going to say Gangsters and Goliaths before Legends, or do vice versa, something like that. I need to know when they got released so I could talk about them from in order. So let me do this real quick, guys, because I want to talk about each individual one. All right. So there we go. All right, here we go. Godzilla Kingdom of Monsters. Godzilla Kingdom of Monsters is not good. I don't recommend it to anyone. If you're going to get introduced to the anime stuff, I meant not the anime, the IDW comic stuff, skip it. Just skip it. You know, maybe it might add something to later comics, but other than that, just skip it. Just skip it. Go to something else. Don't bother with it. Just do it. The characters are bad. The art, in my opinion, is bad. The story's bad. Everything's just terrible. And while there might be some nice monster fights here and there, other than that, there's nothing to intrigue you. Nothing at all. Godzilla, Gangsters, and Goliaths. Godzilla, Gangsters, and Goliaths is actually pretty solid because, well, it focuses on human characters. A lot, actually. Godzilla doesn't really appear a whole lot in it. nor does really Mothra. It actually focuses on human characters and how they live in the world around them. It's actually pretty nice. You know, you don't really get that a whole lot, and I actually really dig it. It's a new, different type of take on it, where instead of just, you know, oh, look at the monsters fighting, they actually sat down and went, how about we just tell a human-focused story? And they just so happen to live in a world filled with monsters. And I really dig that. I really do it. I really like that. Then we got Godzilla Legends. 3 of the comics are good. 2 of them are meh to bad. The first one's fun. Obviously, the first one's fun. It is. It's done by Matt Frank, and I know some of you guys aren't huge fans of him here. But it's done by him, and it's actually pretty all right. It is kind of cool to see Anguirus kind of get the recognition that he deserves as a character, and I think Matt Frank did a really good job. And I really like it that Godzilla kind of makes a cameo, and it's just kind of there as a best friend and a mentor. And I really love the ending where he shows up and he's just surprised that Anguirus did that all by himself. Sorry, guys. Defeating Destroya. I really like that. Issue 2, which I believe is the Rodan issue, maybe? Oh, yeah, Rodan issue. Terrible issue. Not good story. The main character is just awful. I really hate the ending of it. I really do. It basically has that entire... you know when you're a little kid and there's some kids in your classroom you don't like, so whatever you're into at the time, say if it's Godzilla, Transformers, whatever, and you just imagine getting your own Transformer or that, or becoming one and just beating them up, something like that. You just had that mindset because you hate those kids. All of that. Of course, you grew up and you weren't no longer a psychopath. But when you were a kid, you thought of that. That's basically the ending of this. The kid gets Rodan to kill this kid's bullies, and the kid suffers no repercussions. Rodan just gets it for him. And it's basically like my pet monster murders people so I can have a happier life, even though most likely he's going to starve to death when he flies off with Rodan. Next one is Titanosaurus, which is actually pretty all right. Titanosaurus does have some issues in terms of his plot and does get kind of slow, but overall it is a solid issue. It is a solid, fine issue in terms of the Godzilla Legends saga. It's pretty nice, but I see my biggest issue is that it just kind of the biggest issue it has is that it just kind of feels short a bit. You know, it has very fast pace, and so with that, you read it and you're like, wait, it's over, and that's basically how it is. Next is Hedorah, which is also a really great issue with Hedorah. It has Mechagodzilla and obviously in Godzilla, but overall, Hedorah is my favorite kaiju, and I love to see Hedorah get the recognition that he deserves. When you're a kid, you thought of using the monster to beat up your bullies. Still things about Dylan's child that makes sense. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I really like the 4th issue. There's not much left to say. It was overall really fine and fun. And then Godzilla Legends issue 5, and it's Kamanga, and it's meh. There's nothing much to it. I would honestly say skip it. You're not going to get much out of the story or anything. If you want to, you can. I don't think it's going to hurt you. I would say if out of all the ones you should do, just skip issue 2. Skip it with Rodan, all that. But go in for Anguirus, Titanosaurus, and Hedorah. All really good issues. Now, Godzilla Ongoing, which is also simply called Godzilla. Found it a bit weird, but this was actually my first IDW comic I was introduced to, especially issue one of this, and I found it all right. I found it okay. I thought the human characters were fine. I didn't like the art of it. I didn't. I really did not like the art. But I thought it was just fine. It was. That's about it. It's fine. It's fine. And that's basically what the entire series is. I'm not going to dive into the entire series. The same as Godzilla Legends, I actually dived into because it was like each issue was a different story. It wasn't just one long story. And Godzilla 1 is just one long story, so I just basically go like this. First half is pretty all right. Second half goes weird, and it ends weird, and it kind of leaves you, it kind of has a feeling of it being rushed and a little unsatisfying at the end. And yeah, you still get some cool stuff at the end, but ultimately, you don't get a whole lot, and it honestly just kind of hurts the reading experience. Yet again, another series I would actually recommend if you just skipping. It's pretty all right, but I feel like it being all right doesn't really deserve it of being read. Unlike Gangsters and Goliaths and 3 out of 5 issues of Godzilla Legends, that stuff I actually recommend you to actually go your way to find it and read it, because those are actually some pretty solid, decent reads that I would say would get some enjoyment out of you. And hell, you might like it more than me. But things like Kingdom of Monsters and those 2 issues of Godzilla Legends, and I would say majority of Godzilla ongoing, I would just say skip, because even if it's all right, you're better off reading something better. And then we got Godzilla Half Century War, which is actually really well made. I'm personally fine with it, and while I would say the second half of it does kind of lower a bit in quality, it's overall a very consistently really well done series. The visuals are the only thing I kind of like. I love, but I also am not a big fan of, and that usually just comes to the creature designs. I really like the artist. I really like the artist of this, but at the same time, his Godzilla design just is kind of wonky, especially in like when you're seeing Godzilla from like head on. He looks a bit weird, and I think that's really represented in Godzilla and Earth. Yeah, it's really represented in that, especially the first issue. But overall, Godzilla Half Century War is just really great. You follow a character named Oda Mercury. I can't say his name. I can't. Sorry, guys. But you follow him, and you basically see his journey of his first introduction to Godzilla in 54 to his final days with Godzilla and how he is. And I really like this arc that he has, that he overall comes to the point of hatred with Godzilla. It's more of just a respect and respect and more understanding that Godzilla is a necessary evil, but he does get his chance to finally defeat Godzilla in the end by taking him into a black hole with him. A bit out there, but I really do like how it's presented, of how he just tells Godzilla to look at him before they both die. Really neat. Really dig that. I also do find it a bit weird that I do find it a bit weird that that I remember everyone mentions like, oh yeah, each comic has the monsters in it, a part of that era, but then you like read the one in the 60s and has Batra in it. You know, the only ones that are consistent with this are like issue 1 and 4. And then you like read issue 5 and it has like Showa Gigan and like Showa King Ghidorah. So I'm not sure. I think Heisei King Ghidorah. So it's like, wait, what? So there's that. And then Rulers of Earth. Rulers of Earth, I might have a bit of a controversial opinion about. But Rulers of Earth is okay, but it's extremely bloated. And it's extremely bloated, and it just more feels like it's focused on fan service than actually telling a really good story. I remember every time I heard people talking about it, they were more talking about the capability of actually looking into a comic book and seeing Godzilla fight the Gargantuans, rather than actually looking into it and go, wow, man, these characters are phenomenal. Those stories so engaging. They just go, Godzilla fights Gargantuas! He fights Gyra and Sanda! Or Godzilla and Space Godzilla team up! And Trilopods! Oh my god! All this. And it just feels bloated and just fan service to the point where it kind of makes me lose interest. I barely remember a single human character in it. And honestly, it does feel bloated, and at the end, it did feel rushed. It felt like the people making it actually want to do more with the comic, but of course, they had to put it up for issue 25, so they basically it does feel rushed. I would read issue 25, and I would say that one definitely is one that just makes you just kind of go, wait, what? because in the beginning it's just kind of, it has Godzilla in the situation, and then as you read on, it just like kind of cuts to like this big climactic battle, and it's just so weirdly paced that like it's the biggest issue out of all of them, and you're reading them and you're just like going to page to page to page, and yet the pace is so fast and it feels so rushed that you honestly just like sit down and just go, what the hell just happened? And that's mainly what you get out of it, of how Godzilla Rulers of Earth. It just, to me, it's just not that great. Then we get Godzilla Cataclysm, that series. The concept is great, and I honestly wish Godzilla Monster Earth was like this, had this concept of Godzilla Cataclysm, which is basically human survivors on a wasteland having to survive with monster attacks and having to figure out a way to bring Earth back to its original state. And with that, they create this thing, Biollante, in order to make the Earth prosper and live again. And it has a really nice idea that I would love to see put into a movie and executed way better, or just executed way better overall in the comic, but it's just meh. It's pretty all right. It's okay. The human characters aren't that great. The dialogue gets repetitive a lot when they just keep saying God, God, God over again, like all these gods, everything like that. And ultimately, it's just a series that just feels underdeveloped and not executed in the way I actually personally think it should have. Like I remember reading, I think issue 5, maybe issue 4. I don't know. Hey, let me see. I could tell by the cover once I get to it. Yeah, issue 5, the final one, and it's just like it's fast. It's really fast. Like I was reading it and I could not keep up with the pace. I could not. It feels just, it blew me out of my mind. And yet again, that was like the final issue of it, and it is the one that just feels so awkward. Then we get Godzilla in Hell. Godzilla in Hell is another one that I actually really like. Now, of course, some people aren't too big fans of it because they see it as lost potential. They see it as it should have been about Godzilla going like to 7 levels, 7 stages of hell. And personally, I think that would actually be really cool. But I also like what it did. I also like what it did. My favorite issues being issue 2, 4, and 5. Issue 1's pretty all right, and issue 3 is just confusing, and the art style is a bit weird. Let me talk about issue 3 real quick, though, because that seems to be the one that everyone kind of has a bit of an issue with. I think it would have been fine if it was given a bit more context. If it wasn't so vague with its context and confusing, it would have helped us follow it a bit more. But another thing is the art style. Now, each comic has had a different art style, but the thing is, each comic that had an artist has had a consistently has been consistent with the tone and colors. And yes, of course, some use different colors here and there, but all the colors kind of keep this hellish, gritty look to them. But then you look at Godzilla in Hell issue 3, and it's like this colorful, kitty-looking thing. And I don't mind that, but it just doesn't work with the overall aesthetic that Godzilla in Hell has been keeping up. I'm not asking that you should try to have a similar art style to the people you've been seeing in the past, but at the same time, it's just a bit of an issue to have people just of just out of nowhere just having this nice little, you got the first comic, then you got Bob Eggleton, the second one, and while both art styles are different, they actually do keep together quite well. And then you just cut to issue 3, and it's like this colorful mess, and you're just like weirded out, and then you cut to issue 4. Yeah, it is a bit weird. And I would say it is a bit awkward. I move on to Godzilla Oblivion, which is just bad. I don't recommend Godzilla Oblivion. I don't think it's good. Nothing's really good out of it. I don't recommend it. Nothing much to say here. Usually people tend to see negative stuff. Like whenever you talk negative about something, you tend to... whenever you talk negative about something, you tend to go longer than saying something positive. But with Godzilla Oblivion, I'm just saying it's bad. Stay away from it. Don't touch it unless you're a big Godzilla fan. Just don't. And I have not. And I've not read Godzilla Rage Across Time yet. It doesn't really interest me. I think the concept is kind of cool, but I just don't really want to get into it. So maybe in the future I could give it a review of it. But after that, I do want to kind of discuss the current whereabouts of what IDW is doing with Godzilla, and so far I haven't really heard any updates. Haven't really heard anyone discussing about it or talking about it, nor have I really heard IDW said anything about it. All I believe right now is what we got is that Toe is kind of putting IDW in a standstill in terms of comics. They're not really making them the comics they want and all that. And with that, right now, it's kind of indefinite. It's kind of indefinite until we get more comics in the future. But yeah, Toho is kind of putting a bit of a standstill on them, so that's kind of sad. But I already discussed that I do kind of have a mad to negative reaction to the IDW stuff. So while I am kind of sad to see this stuff not get exactly what I believe it desires, I am fine with it. I am fine with it. Of course, when it comes down to it, my recommendations are Godzilla Half Century War, Godzilla in Hell, 3 issues out of 5 of Godzilla Legends, Godzilla, Gangsters, and Goliaths, and that's really about it. Rules of Earth, though, say want it if you don't mind fan service and you really want to see these like monsters go at it and such, really want to see like these fantasy battles you always imagine as a kid or as a Godzilla fan in general. Definitely go out your way to watch it. I mean, not watch it, read it. I think that would be fun for you. But if you're a person that's actually trying to be more invested in a cool, interesting story for Godzilla, that actually has characters you like and a world you like, I would just go with Godzilla, Half Century War, and Godzilla in Hell. That's really about it. And Godzilla in Hell doesn't really have any characters besides Godzilla. Like he's the character of it, and that's why I also really like it because you just get to follow Godzilla in his journey with just like a narration over it, and that's it. You get to see his journey mostly through visuals, and I really like that. And yeah, that's it for IDW comics. I really need to read more comics though, because what I really want to do whenever I get a job, I know that sounds sad, and I'm 16, but you know it's kind of fine for someone my age not getting one. But I'm not. That's not an excuse either. I should definitely try to go out my way. But when I do, I'm not buying a single Godzilla figure. I'm just gonna buy like posters in my room and frame them. I'm gonna buy a bunch of Godzilla movies on VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray. I'm gonna buy a bunch of Godzilla comic books and regular books and all that. All that. Yeah, that's the main thing I wanted to get. Dylan gets a job. I'll suck your dick, nigga. I'll suck your dick for $50. So yeah, but it is the summer, so it is. I should be going on my way to find a job. And yes, I am on summer break, so hopefully these live streams become a lot more apparent. So, man, what else to talk about for the last 17 minutes until we go on? Oh, I should mention that on Instagram, I'm currently doing this Godzilla elimination thing, where every day I post every day I post a thing about the elimination, and people just basically go in and vote what is their least favorite suit of the suits that are available to them, and see if that one gets taken out. And so far, the ones that have been taken out, and I'm going to do this in order: Rado Goji, and I should actually let me scroll all the way down to the very beginning. Rado Goji from 1993. Always Goji from 2007. By the way, it's 2007, not 2009. I looked it up. It came out in 2007. The movie came out in 2007. That's what it was. All right, that YouTube video that says that it was in 2009, no, that's bullshit. The movie came out in 2007. And then there's Guy Kushu suit. There's a Guy Kushu suit, 1955 Godzilla. That one was the third one out. Fourth one out was Godzilla Earth. Fifth one out was Desu Goji. I know some of you guys might be a little like, wait, what? Desu Goji got knocked out. And the sixth one is TriStar Goji, or 98, whatever. Yeah, 1998 Godzilla. That one got cucked. And then next one was Musuko Goji. That one was the recent one. And now it's just now. Wait. What? What's going on here? Oh, no. The most recent one was Battle Goji from 1992. That was the most recent one. So far, Hasey's getting pretty cucked. Showa only has 2 out, and Millennium has 0 out. Millennium is Kino. Millennium is surviving it. Millennium has not been touched yet, which is pretty awesome. Now, to go on to some YouTube videos I want to do, the Godzilla Suits and Design series will continue, but I want to really dive into it during the summer, but at the same time, I'm just kind of I want to focus on other stuff before I dive back into it. I did remember I had this entire schedule I want to do for my YouTube videos, but I realized the type of YouTube videos I want to make actually require a decent amount of editing, and I'm not really used to editing a whole lot. So when I edited my first video in a long time, which was like my Gaikushu episode, it it took me out. I was exhausted. I was like, oh my god, I didn't know it took this much. Seeing a lot of hate for the 65 suit for the leg spool. Yeah, I like 65. I don't like it at 66. I like it when you first see it at 66. But as the movie goes on, it just goes downhill. And by that I mean whenever the suit obviously changes heads, and after it's no longer in the water anymore, that's when it's at its worst. That's when the suit looks ugly. But what it looks like in Monster Zero, it looks phenomenal. It looks great in Monster Zero. I love what it looks like in Monster Zero. So yeah, that's pretty neat. Sometimes I do feel like people actually misread the caption and they think it's about push your favorite Godzilla suit in here. So I think people are actually ironically posting their favorite Godzilla suits because they can't tell. They didn't read the caption appropriately, because I see some of them and I see fan favorites get chosen to get taken out, and I'm just there wait, what, really? Is that your least favorite suit? Not that I'm judging, if that's your least favorite, that's right, but a lot of people really like that. I wonder if you actually meant to post that. And sometimes that does appear true. I remember this one guy whose name was Godzilla Tokyosa West wanted to get the 2003 Godzilla suit out, or Kuryu Goji, matter of fact. They wanted to get that suit out. And we're just there you do know the suit that you want out is for the movie that is your name, right? And they go, I know. And the next thing I know, I see them comment again, and it's no longer that suit. It's so weird. I don't get it. It's one of the weirdest things. I also got a new lantern. I'm playing with it right now. It's really nice. It's light. Yay, I got a lantern. That's pretty cool. I got a lantern because I plan on going camping soon. So yeah, YouTube stuff's been fun. The thing is, we can still do commentaries we can still do commentaries and upload them before we get to the Godzilla Mecha Godzilla marathon we got ready. So yeah. My arm's sore right now. I think I'm having a heart attack. No, I actually did get kind of worried because obviously when you get a heart attack, it's like a pain in your left arm and kind of a pain in your chest, mainly around your heart area. And I kind of started getting both. I'm like, wait, I'm not I know I'm a little chubby, but I'm not overweight. I've seen people way fatter than me and they never got a heart attack. Why am I all of a sudden might be getting one? And of course that wasn't the case. It's just me overreacting. I think it's more to do with cholesterol, maybe. I know that makes me sound like a fat ass, but if you saw me in real life, I'm mainly thick around the thighs and I have a little bit of a gut. But other than that, I'm fine. Dylan fucking dies. Yeah, I'm already expecting this stream. I got my water. I'm shaking, man. My nerves aren't working. Eliminate Heisei Godzilla. Hey, you guys need to push the effort into eliminating it and actually choose a suit one at a time to eliminate it, all right? Because I always see you guys post, 94, 91, all this. If you want Heisei out, for one, don't use multiple accounts and don't spam. And two, be consistent. If you guys want to barrage and take out the new Godzilla anime stuff, then go for it. Would you fuck Godzilla? Godzilla. Anyone watch Ranger? Time Ranger. I don't watch. I don't. I don't know what those are either. Um, I don't watch a lot of Tokusatsu Cape shit. I usually just watch Godzilla movies, giant monster movies. That's all I watch. I don't watch Kamen Rider or Ultraman, anything like that. Any niggas watch Devilman? I do. I do. I dig that shit. Devilman Crybaby is Kino. I will say it does get a bit rushed. I would say in episode 10. Episode 10 just kind of like smacks you across the head with all of this like stuff that needs to get done because it realizes like, oh shit, we only have 10 episodes. Well, that's what it felt like. It felt like they wanted to do so much more, but they realized they couldn't, so they had to like I would say give it maybe 2 more episodes, and I feel like the show would have been an absolute masterpiece with maybe some animation errors here and there. Um, but since it gives 10 episodes, episode 10 does feel a bit rushed, especially I would say around the middle and a bit of the end. But the beginning and ending of episode 10 are just phenomenal. Yeah, I love Devilman. It might turn some people off. I did kind of find it hard to come back to the series after episode 3, but once I got to episode 4, I was hooked. I watched it all night, and it was great. But it was pretty Kino. I've not seen the OVAs, but I have seen their dubs, and they're pretty Kino. Just kind of like the fuck, what was it called? Oh, Fist of the North Star. I was thinking Death of the North Star. Fist of the North Star. I've heard things of the dub from that, and it sounds Kino. It sounds pretty litty. If you guys hear a dog barking, that's just my dog. It's a pretty simple answer. My dog. Uh, I'm not giving JoJo a watch yet because I don't really have the time to do it. Um, I'm more of a movie guy than TV show guy, even though there are a few shows I watch, like Better Call Saul. Oh man, I find it so funny how the character Charles McGill, the brother of the main character Jimmy McGill, for one, he is kind of treated as an antagonist or someone who isn't very likable by the end of season 1, season 2, and season 3. And it it kind of helps the fact that he drinks soy milk. He drinks soy milk. Hang on, guys. Let me mute real quick.
Hey, come here.
All right, I'm back. I'm back. All right, I just had to do trash real quick. All right, so back to JoJo. I have not watched it yet. No, I was at Better Call Saul. Yeah, one of the characters drinks soy in that show. It's pretty fun. It's just something because obviously we make soy boy jokes or soylent jokes and all that. And of course, watching that show and seeing one of the main characters and a very unlikable character, and you're supposed to kind of be that way. Drink soy. It's just like, ha! He's a douche and he's a soy boy. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm kind of buzzing outside, and because it's been storming all day, and I'm hoping it's like, hey, there's a tornado coming. Because I had a tornado hit here several years ago, and I don't want that happening again. Hey, it's gonna be the anniversary of said tornado in 2 days. Yeah, it's been really fun. It's about to turn 8, and I might send some invite stuff to people. So far, one of the people that I usually invite has not been active on the stream yet, nor do I actually think they have gotten in contact with me. So overall, I might just be inviting 2 people in here, or maybe just 1. I don't know. But yeah, it's been pretty fun. It's been pretty neat. I'm enjoying myself. So far, I actually did not get my post actually posted in wait. I did not get my post actually posted in Toku Legion yet, I believe. You can call me Devil Man. Oh yeah. Oh wait. I'd say like the Evia. You can call me Devil Man. I'm Devil Man. I thought you were talking about like that jazz version of the Devilman theme, which is actually pretty Kino. Like it makes you just want to snap your fingers and then beat up your wife. Some say he's a traitor. And by the way, the new Devilman no Yuta theme is pretty Kino. It's pretty awesome. I love it with all my heart. I listened to that song more times than I listened to really any other song this year. I love the part where like the music kind of takes a moment to like pause and you just like start clapping. Bum ba dum ba dum bum bum ba dum ba dum bum bum ba dum bum bum ba dum bum. Like you just kind of get that feeling of just clapping with it. It's like it's great. I love songs that actually make me want to like physically do something to it, not some stupid dance stuff. So yeah, when you bring the AR-15, it's a BE and Devilman no Yuta starts playing. The JoJo ODST is very Kino as well. I bet it is. I heard that entire show is Kino. I just not gotten to it yet. So let me copy this into the places I need it to be. I'm going to post it in a certain chat, a Discord chat, may I add. Might I add, I mean. And with that, this individual will know what I'm talking about. Now, of course, if you guys know me on Discord or anything like that, you're friends with me, or if you see me in groups, definitely check your private messages just in case you might have been the one that got selected. Other than that, stay away because I don't want you here. I did not send it to you here. All right, you're a monster. I hate you. I don't know, watch some Jab Cape shit. The kindness of a man. He's on to sacrifice everything he can. Down on the speed of sound of out of the night. Devil swings on the sword of the sky. Devil swings on a raging fire. With evil powers closing in. I know I'm seeing the Devilman theme, but I'm just trying to pass through time when I keep this thing opened. All right, there we go. There we go. Wait a moment, guys. All right, don't be cucks. Wait a moment. Be patient. Because I'm using a really crappy computer, and that's why. My other ones, I could just go like that, but since I no longer have that laptop with me, and I have to wait over the summer to get it back, not that I'm grounded, it's a school laptop, and I don't sit. That's the reason why I use it, because all my other computers are terrible, and this is one of them. So I just had to get through it. When you and the boys drop into Nagina, the old man no Yuta starts playing. Oh, and also when you get down, you gotta do the boogie dance from Fortnite. Where are we dropping, boys? Where are we dropping, boys? I actually did play that a bit today. Fortnite. I was bored. I wanted to get time passed. It was fun. It was fun. I had fun. I'm not good at it, but I had fun. I mainly just play Halo and some other games I enjoy playing, like Doom. The Saints Row games are actually pretty fun. I recently re-downloaded them on my Xbox. Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga is Kino. Stat with me, guys. Kino. It's absolute Kino. Do you play Fortnite in the Jewel Room? Yes, I do. I played in the Jewel Room. With Adam Sandler. Why? Because he was in that one movie, Jewel. I hope you guys got that meme. The designer of Godzilla 1998. Oh yeah, there's that Wikizilla one. Yeah, 98 has female genitalia, but it's not a woman. It's not. It's a he, not a she. It's a he. It's a dude. Like that. The Lego Star Wars games are Kino. Well, not the new ones with, sequel. New Wars. The last McDowell tree brought me back to my late 2013 days when I was beyond hype for 2014. I was coming all over my pick for the composer, and then it wasn't him. I know Adam Sandler wasn't Gun. Oh, he was also in the movie Nug. Why isn't this loading for me? Come on. Come on. Do I actually have to go to the website? I hate this computer. It's so slow. I'm so glad it's running for me to do live streams, but it's not running for me when I want to get Discord open. Ugh. This is AIDS. I have AIDS. Guys, I have AIDS. First I had heart problems, now I have AIDS. Not even heart problems. That was probably me just freaking out over something that wasn't in there. Adam Sandler was also a Nug. Yes, he was a Nug. Saints Row 4 is the Cape shit. Saints Row. Yeah, but it's also fun to get the tornado thing when you run, like when you sprint. So when you sprint, like everything around you, like vehicles and stuff, just start flying around and start hitting things. It's really Kino when you do that. Plus, you get that dubstep gun and makes you feel like a edgy 13-year-old again from middle school. Drop the bass. Blum, 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 blum. That's what it feels like. Oh my god, this computer's driving me nuts. I'm punching my dick right now. I want to get these invites out. Ishiro Honda's Devilman with Devilman destroying Israel. That could work. Yeah, the thing is that Godzilla 2014 taught me a valuable lesson. Never listen to fake news and not to overhype yourself. Because I've actually gotten a lot more relaxed with movies nowadays. That, yes, I'll see a new trailer for like maybe Godzilla 2 when it comes out. And they're like, oh my god! And I just start beating up my wife. That's just like the regular reactions you get from trailers like that. And so overall, I've kind of calmed down from that because, of course, you can't just beat up your wife like that. So I more just do it where I smack her around. And that's usually my reactions now to trailers. Never trust the Jews. Oh, yeah. Did you guys know that Ishiro Honda died in Ferguson, Missouri? Oh, shit. I'm not going down that path. That's some lore for you guys about anti-Semitic Ishiro Honda, or the YouTube-friendly one, evil Ishiro Honda. So yeah. So how you guys doing? Oh my god. Are you open yet? No, you're not? Oh my god, you're wasting my time, Discord. It's time to ditch Skype and TeamSpeak. For what? Oh god, come on. Are you gonna let me log in or something? Yeah, there we go. my god, it's taking forever. I'm sorry, guys, if there's some awkward pauses here and there. But I'm just more trying to get all this stuff set up just so I can invite the people I want. Why is this so hard? I just want to invite people into this call so we can chat and have fun. But of course, this computer's trash and it doesn't want me to do anything. By the way, guys, everything else on my YouTube channel, I'm going to be doing through my phone, not this computer. So don't worry. Oh my god. I really want to say what I'm typing right now because I usually do that when I type. Kind of helps me out. But I'm not doing it here. All right. All right, let's see if we can finally get this. Let's see if we can finally get this, guys. Oh my god. This is actual AIDS. This is AIDS. I want to put the needle in my throat right now. By the way, I want to know from you guys, who are the most spurgiest people in this fan base? Like people you have actually met in the past. You know, the only things I recommend is don't talk about a kid. Like someone who's like maybe 14, like 15 years old and younger, don't mention them. But if it's anyone 16 years old and up, do as you wish. Unless they actually are like not mentally well, then I wouldn't recommend it either. Like actual people that you just saw have bad behavior. Finally, all right, I got it sent. I got it sent. Now we might do this. All right. All right, just got back from seeing Devilman with my crew. Rerolled pretty deep, and let me tell you, not a dry seat in the house. The piss was in tits, piss dripping out of the seats, piss flowing down the aisles, piss in the popcorn, piss jets in every direction. I actually shit myself 3 times. I told the door monkey, and he was like, "Oh, here goes," and we fist bumped. It was all a go. It was all a good vibe. Great night out. And if we roll with the chill crew and not a bunch of perma virgin goobers, then you'll have a wicked sick time. Slayed. If Toho does a Jet Jaguar Soul movie, I will come. Most likely not, but at the same time, I do expect Jet Jaguar, if in their cinematic universe, if they go on with it, I do see that, and you guys are all fan mentally well. Well, to be honest, I did hear that at G-Fest, the people there at G-Fest are pretty slow, if you catch my drift. Not all of them, but they are slow. So, yeah. So I just sent the link, so hopefully whoever ever saw it can get it. Monty Toho, Legendary Goji, Matt, Frank. Oh, yeah, there's that. That's fucking sad. Do Godzilla fans smell like shit? Well, I know sometimes when I accidentally don't put on the right shit in the morning, I kind of smell like shit. I do expect to at least go to G-Fest whenever I do. Meet one guy I met on the internet, and he just smells like shit. I know it sounds messed up, but I just expect it like, oh, hi, insert username here. How you doing? Oh, hi, my real name is insert name here. How you doing? And you just get one puff of their, like, just sit, and you're like, oh, my God. You know for sure with that that they've been into the dealer's room way too long. That's fucking sad. I run a Godzilla-oriented Facebook page. I could go on about how many inept idiots I've dealt with. And who's in the call? Who's here? Who's the Kino man? I need to check on my own.
Is this working?
It's working, but your mic is awkward.
Okay.
Get your shit straight, Mifune. By the way, guys, we have the character Kyoko and Patterson.
Yeah, I think it's working.
Oh. All right,
it's
yeah,
working. It's working.
That's good. Now here we actually have the actual character from Shin Godzilla, Kyoko and Patterson. She really did help out with the whole situation with Godzilla and Shin Godzilla, and I want to kind of give her a shout out. So say hi, everyone. Say hi, Kyoko. I swear to God, if you actually do the English she does in the movie, I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face when I meet you. And he's not talking. Oh, there he is. Oh. Is he good, Mifune?
Huh?
I can't hear you.
How about now?
All right, talk a bit. Just talk. Just spurg out a bit so I can really understand if your mic's working or not.
Just got back from Auschwitz with my crew. Let me tell you, not a dry seat in the house. The gas is intense. Gas everywhere. I actually shit myself 3 times.
There we go. The mic's working. All right, good. Just want to get that out of the way. Now we got Mifune, legendary Mifune, one of 3 admins from Kaiju Ship Posting, who unironically posted some weird things on her story last night on Kaiju Ship Posting. Are you satisfied with the content we post? Did you post that? Did you post that? Are you satisfied with the content we post?
That would actually. I think that creeped people out more than anything. I think it's like, is this like a robot running the account?
Yeah, it was just like, wait, Mifune, what the fuck are you doing?
It's a bot.
And then you say, I explain stuff. Like, I only explain it when someone accuses us of like stealing memes when we didn't. That's the only time I explain some shit. I'm like, no, I did not. I repeat, I did not steal content. All right, it was just a meme that another person thought of before me. G-Fest smells like shit in the dealer's room. Oh, I bet it does. Just a bunch of sweaty 40-year-olds trying to get their hands on like a Titanosaurus or 1984 like 6-inch
and the
Movie Monster Series figure.
The one female Godzilla fan who's usually there.
Oh yeah, the one that she's like, oh, here's my art, and you get like guys like pulling snot out of their noses and beating the shit out of each other just trying to talk to her.
When you bring your AR-15 to the dealer's room and then Devilman no Uta starts playing. when you recreate the club scene where Rio murders everyone in Devilman at G-Fest.
Oh my god. And then that's at the costume contest.
You cosplay as Devilman and then like you just basically recreate that whole scene.
You cosplay as Rio and you start stabbing people with like a broken beer bottle.
When Eminem appears in Devilman.
Oh yes.
Eminem,
that Godzilla guy gay should be shot. Oh what the fuck? Like, I don't like the guy, but I don't think he should go that far.
That's not far enough.
I will say this: I do feel pretty happy that Toho cucked him out of his own name and his coffee bags. You know what I want to see? I thought of this. I want to see someone actually go out of their way, like someone who's a really good artist, someone who's really good, like probably a popular and professional Godzilla artist in the community. Like they actually have worked on official stuff before for the franchise. I want to see them actually go out of their way and make a fan Godzilla comic book series, and just post it on DeviantArt, post it on whatever, post it there, and it actually has a really good story, has really good art, and they make and that they don't even sell it, because I think the Toho would not care if you made your own fan comic of Godzilla.
Shuji Ishikawa would be like, "Nah, nigga, you gay."
The thing is, Toho would not interfere if you just don't make a profit off of it. If you make like a comic book series and just go, hey, I'm also selling this for like $5, then ultimately everyone at Toho is going to come in and says like, wait, what the fuck, nigga? Like Kaiju Girl, somebody expecting sooner or later Toho is going to figure out that shit and they're just going to whip on them. Liking Kamen Rider, but hating JoJo. Jesus Christ, he's using the lawsuit and publicity law. Anyone in here got gamer powers? I sure got one. Beating up women.
There's like 2 girl gamers in the Godzilla Discord chat.
Yeah, and I don't think they even talk. Oh yeah, there was that gaming Tubby Williams. Oh my god. All right, funny story, guys. Discord time. On our Discord, there's this guy named Gaming Tubby William, and obviously, I think they were really young or not mentally up there with us.
Dude, he's Kino. What are you talking about?
But I mean, the stuff he says and the stuff he posts just makes you go, "Is this guy normal?" But what I mean by that is this. He does art. He does art. And by art, I mean, he goes, I draw this now. And he goes, drawing, done. In like a matter of 10 minutes, and he posts art that isn't his, like stuff he found off Google or just off some website. And he claims it as his. He claims it as his. And thing is, we don't get mad at him for it. We play it on because we find it just so funny that he goes, yes, this is my art. I work hard on it. It's so great. It's so great. It's the funniest thing ever. And the thing is, the reason why I say he's not necessarily like maybe mentally sound as us is that you have to like talk in his type of spelling and language in order to get what he's, in order for him to understand you. Like I remember like he was like, oh, when I was like speaking normal. So when I just started purposely like misspelling, he understood me, and he was the craziest shit ever. I did not know what was going on. I was scared. It was pretty Kino though.
He's actually like this really buff, like guy who doesn't know English. Like he's this really buff Chinese guy who just doesn't know how to speak English. He's gonna fucking murder you.
He's just a buff Japanese guy.
So you said the king was a lie, huh?
I actually draw that shit, alright. All the other artists rip me off. Oh god, the worst part is that there are more people like him in his own server. Oh god, he's surrounded by them. God, it's basically the third act of Godzilla 98 with all the fucking baby Zillas walking everywhere. Oh, sorry, baby Godzillas, because I don't want to get all that fucking trademark shit. All right. I will say this. I do want to mention this though. I do find it. I don't like it when people think that 98 being their first film is something they should be ashamed of or something they should be kind of embarrassed by or kind of upset by. No, you shouldn't. Like, you can say 98 is your first film, and I don't think anyone would be mad at you for that. I don't know what internet experience you had where someone got mad at you for that being your first exposure to Godzilla. I won't say that was my first exposure. I want to say that was my first exposure, but it was one of my first exposures. And I'm not over here huffing and puffing saying, my 98, I can't 98 is, I can't believe 98 is like one of my first movies. I'm just here like, yeah, it was one of my first. It was pretty cool as a kid. Here you go.
Yeah, I was exposed to it. Like Matthew Broderick exposed himself to me when I was a kid. I was really fucked up.
Yeah, it was in Go Go Gadget, but it was like the weird edit where he didn't have that like little hospital robe on. He was just walking around with his dick flopping around, saying "Go Go Gadget" erect.
It was a metal dick.
It was a full on metal dick, full metal gadget.
Parker, get me pictures.
Oh god, I almost did the version. I almost did the version. He's like Parker, and then he says the N word.
Oh, you're not gonna say it on live like you did in our You'll say it on our podcast, but you won't say it live.
Yeah, I won't say it live because obviously the live streams are a little bit more exposed there. 98 is underrated. It's not good, but it's not bad. Oh yeah, by the way, 1998's 20th anniversary. I think it might have been yesterday or maybe today. I don't know, but today is Godzilla 1998's anniversary. Yay!
Oh, we can fuck it.
Yay! Well, it's already in the legal age, you know. It's 20 now. And yeah, it's a film that isn't my least favorite. Is a little bit low on me, but I don't hate it. I find the film just pretty meh. In terms of the film itself, I think it's fine, and it does have some fun moments in it and some fun characters. And I think the special effects, for the most part, are pretty good. But in just terms of how its monster works and how it just as a Godzilla movie, that's why it's a bit low. And I'm not saying that's like, oh, it's not Godzilla, so it's automatically low on my list. It's just overall, like, I felt like you could have still done the regular Godzilla stuff and still kind of come with something similar to it. And it would have been way more satisfying.
I I like the part where Nick found out that Audrey like basically ruined his whole career and then beat the shit out of her.
Man, I just like the part where she just started raping her and talking about the KKK. It seemed very out of place, but Roland Emmerich obviously had it in there for a reason, so I respect that.
When John Renault beat the shit out of Nick and then lectured him about the French World War II roles in World War II.
Oh, and Super Thorome Mix. I'm sorry if I butcher your name here. He's back. By the way, dude makes some fairy Kino remixes. So check him out.
Liddy.
How
can you not tell that was Toho remix?
Oh, I read it
Yo,
wrong.
are you dyslexic?
I read a Super Tahor mix. Oh, I felt like a fucking dumbass when she pointed it out. Like, I'm not dyslexic. I just read it wrong.
Dylan, are you smoking stuff that's laced with drugs?
I don't know. I
Smoking's bad for your health, especially if it's your own flesh you're smoking.
Super throw mix. Today our good friend Tank Goji Davis sent us a Spider-Man 3 Japanese dub, which was very litty. And one of my favorite parts is the Japanese dub for Harry when he's talking about the taste of lips. He rubs her lips. He's making like a sipping sound. He's like, and then he goes strawberries. It's great, strawberry. Man, Japanese dubs are pretty kino. Like they sound like super, like they sound way more exaggerated than they actually are in the movie, and it just makes it way better.
Like, listen to the Japanese dub of the Michael Bay Transformers movies. It's fucking kino as shit.
Yeah, I want to hear what Optimus Prime sounds like when he's like fighting.
Transform!
Instead of like I'll kill you, he's like, I didn't kill you.
Omae wa mou shindeiru. Nani?
Omae no maru. That's right.
Jesus Christ, you butchered that so hard.
What, Mifune? What the fuck?
Someone posted a thing how apparently, according to Rotten Tomatoes, the original Mothra vs. Godzilla is rated higher than Solo, a Star Wars story.
Oh yeah, I remember we were going through like Letterboxd and we found Film Toaster's one. He rates like Batman v Superman 5 out of 5 stars. He rates Mothra vs. Godzilla 2 out of 5. We're there like,
and then he rates Godzilla vs. Mothra 3 out of 5.
Yeah,
like, nigga, you fucking iffy.
If I ever get to meet him, I think that would be. No, I already did on Twitter. Yeah, the guy's pretty cool, but I do say he's a bit obsessive over the whole not liking Marvel thing. I think it's fine if he likes the DC stuff. He can like that all he wants. It's just like more of the lines that he focuses a lot on, like trashing Marvel. Like he tweets about it and then he like retweets stuff and likes posts that are relating on being Marvel negative. And not that I have an issue of people not liking Marvel. If you don't like it, that's fine. But when I start looking through my feed and just start seeing that nonstop, I just kind of go like, are you a bit obsessive over the fact of it? You know? Like I just kind of get that feeling of it. But I do think me talking to the guy would be pretty litty. Juvakuda reveals show him that Godzilla is actually pansexual. Man, that wouldn't be really kino at all. Juvakuda's not the type of nigga to do that. You know who is the type of nigga? The anime niggas. Overall, I'm 75% positive with Marvel. I'm 60% positive. Like it goes like first phase 1 was pretty all right. Like maybe like 3 good movies from it. All the others are pretty mad to bad. And then phase 2, I don't really like it a lot because I don't like Iron Man 3. I don't like Thor: The Dark World. I've not seen The Winter Soldier yet. I really like Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't like Avengers: Age of Ultron. I don't like Ant-Man. And then phase 3 comes in, and this is actually when I kind of piqued interest in it. Like, I like Civil War. I like it. I like Doctor Strange. I like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I like Spider-Man Homecoming. I have not seen Thor Ragnarok yet. I've not seen Black Panther yet. And I really like Avengers Infinity War. And who's here?
Okay, sorry, I'm back.
Another Kyoko. God, this is the fucking Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah paradoxes right here.
There are 2 of us.
Oh, God. You know what? I actually like there's a whole explanation about Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah in terms of what it plot is. It works until you get to like present day in that, and like Godzilla's still at the Bering Sea. The thing is, I feel like if you just gave it a bit more rewrites in it, you could have made it like this. They go back in time. Wait, why do we still remember Godzilla? Why is Godzilla still relevant? And then they check, it's like Godzilla's still in the same area he was. Nothing's changed. Except the fact that now King Ghidorah is a thing now, and it's wrecking Japan's shit. That would have worked so much better. But they fucked it up when they came back to present day. But with all the new context in terms of explanation, it does help out the film a bit.
Not so much the Bering Sea part. Like I watched that whole video, and I'm just like, you guys are really reaching hard.
Like I always say, it really helps out a lot a bit in terms of the whole Godzilla source everything. Like it's fine whenever they go back in time, but when they come back to present day, that's when it gets all wonky. Now, of course, it is a bit better to watch now with the explanation, because if you had no context of to what was going on, like you didn't know about the explanation, the present day would confuse the shit out of you, because obviously, like, why do they still remember Godzilla? Didn't they release Godzilla from the last two movies? Obviously, they didn't. Because obviously those two movies are still relevant to the plot. But yeah, it does get a bit wonky, but it does come out fine after all that shit's over. Once Godzilla's back and he fights King Ghidorah, you can finally sit down and relax, and it's like, all right, the plot isn't a mess anymore.
Also, I never get exactly why they bring back those specific three people back in time. Like, if anything, that actually hurts their plan, because imagine just playing at the movie where it's like, oh, we're just going about our business, and King Ghidorah appears right out of nowhere. Honestly, that would be a more effective plan.
And I think Emiko should have been explained a bit more in Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah in terms of her change of character. Like, it should have been really pointed out. It's like, I honestly thought King Ghidorah was just been used as like some sort of like authority, you know, like just kind of a tool to use. But and instead, it's used as a weapon, and now it's being used against your people. And now,
her love interest slash cousin's like, wait, you wanted to threaten us? It's just as bad, if not almost as bad.
I really like the movie. I enjoy it. It has lessened a bit in quality for me, but I still enjoy it. I think the Godzilla suit in it does look great. I like Byogoji a bit more. I do really like the puppet, though. The puppet is very expressive. I would say, besides like some character things I'm not a big fan of, and the overall plot being wonky with the time travel stuff, my main issue is the color palette.
It's really bland looking, and it's really drab, and
it's very gray, and it looks dry.
I'm watching supposed HD prints of that movie, and it still doesn't look any better than the VHS in parts.
Yeah, and that's kind of a big issue I have with the Heisei series, because the thing is, like, I watched a movie like Godzilla vs. Mothra in 92, and I watched Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. These are two movies that kind of scream saturation, scream color, pop everywhere, you know? Like, you watch some of Juva Kudo's films in the 60s and 70s, those movies pop with color. And so with that, you expect that with those type of movies. But watching it, they just come off as gray. They don't pop. Like, Space Godzilla is a movie I'm like, because for like half the movie takes place on an island, you expect the colors of the island to pop out: the water, the sky, the grass, the trees, everything. You know, you expect that to just appear on screen and just like draw your eyes everywhere, have a very crisp color to it. But it just comes off gray and boring. It doesn't attract you that much.
And then Mechagodzilla 2 is all blue.
All blue, yeah. Like a good example is Son of Godzilla, actually, Eberhor the Deep. Eberhor the Deep's island setting, everything like that.
Deep. It sounds like you're saying Eberhor the Deep.
Well, that film, like the colors for it look amazing. They do. Greens, reds, blues, yellows, all of this. They pop. They look amazing. I mean, I know I'm saying pop, but I'm going to keep saying it because it gets my point across. They look amazing. They look great. Son of Godzilla also looks great. You know, all these movies look phenomenal. A good amount of Showa films look phenomenal. And when it gets to that point while you're watching these movies, from King Ghidorah to Destroyer, I would say Destroyer I'm a little bit kind of I will say the color is a bit better. Destroy's red does pop out a bit, so does Godzilla's like orange on him.
It's just the cinematography is like pretty terrible. The cinematography in that movie, the color palette's better. Yeah, the color palette is better than all films before. Some people could argue Space Godzilla, but that movie also I don't think has a good color palette. But yeah, Destroyer for my least favorite Godzilla movie. That movie does have a good color palette with it. I know some people in here who don't really know my opinion of it might be a bit shocked that I said Destroy is my least favorite, but it is, and so it is also Mifune's as well. Mifune goes way more in depth with it, and Titan Goji's problems with Heisei era video. Yeah, he takes up like straight up like 40% of the video to talk about why he thinks Destroy is bad. Video are I can't remember his name. One guy saying how great Biollante is, and me talking about how shit Destroy is.
Yeah, but like you watch a movie like King Ghidorah, you expect something like King Ghidorah to look amazing on screen. It's golden. It should look phenomenal. That's why, you watch Ghidorah 3-Headed Monster, and while Invasion of Astro Monster, the colors do pop there, I would say Ghidorah and Destroy Monsters in terms of the color for Ghidorah, that's when his gold just strikes the screen. He looks amazing. The gold shines. But then you watch Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, and it looks dull. King Ghidorah looks dull. The gold on him does not stand out. It just doesn't look amazing. And then the entire movie is just great. It looks great. 92 looks great. And there are some moments where it actually has some good colors in it, but then the rest of the movie is great. Mechagodzilla's blue, Space Godzilla's purple. And it's just like all this stuff, they don't have good color palettes. The only movies I would actually say have good color palettes are 84, Biollante, and while I'm not too big of a fan to say it, Destroya, those are the movies that have like the best color palettes because the colors actually pop out in those films. All the others don't. The colors don't strike you on screen. Biollante is an amazing example. The greens, the blues, everything in that movie strikes beautifully on screen. Biollante especially. Biollante looks phenomenal. The lighting around her, the color of the suit, everything. Biollante looks amazing through lighting, cinematography, and overall special effects. Biollante just looks great. And then you get to King Ghidorah and everything's just gray. Yeah. Mifune died, by the way.
No, I'm here.
Biowars intensifies. Biowars definitely intensify. But yeah. It is pretty sad that the Heisei era just looks so ugly. Some people could argue Millennium, but I think Millennium's fine. Yeah, I would say Godzilla 2000 is a bit gray, but I think that one's fine as well. Megaguirus is fine. The colors pop fine in that film, especially Godzilla. Actually, Megaguirus definitely looks great in that movie. GMK also has some pretty good colors as well. Godzilla gets Mechagodzilla, pretty good as well, even though I would say it's a bit more on the grayer side. I will say Tokyo Swiss does have the better color to the film. And Final Wars, while I do like that movie, the filters that they use in film are a bit weird at points, and it kind of becomes distracting. Like one point, it's really orange. Next point, it's really blue. Next point, it's really that red. Was Ishiro, it's really all this. It's really green. All this, and it's kind of. To me, it kind of becomes a bit distracting. I like a movie that has a bit more of a consistent color palette. But that movie just kind of gets a bit distracting here and there in terms of what it wants to do.
And 2014 has great cinematography, but it's all misty.
Yeah. Shin Godzilla has more of a... I think Shin Godzilla's color palette works fine with the movie it's in. Like, the colors actually do pop in Shin Godzilla actually a bit. Like, it's pretty odd, but the colors actually do look pretty good in Shin Godzilla. Also kind of having this bit of a brownish tan look to the film. If you kind of catch my drift, But yeah, that movie looks pretty good. Colors pop in it. Movie just looks really solid. 2014, obviously 2014 in terms of special effects is the best looking. I think that's objectively true, even though I think Biollante is the most impressive. Because the thing is, I find practical effects way more interesting and way more impressive than a CGI model. Obviously CGI takes so much time into it, but practical effects,
Also, it's 2000. It's in the 2010s. If your big budget movie doesn't look good,
yeah, like Black Panther.
I love Spider-Man 3's end fight.
Yeah, but by the way, Black Panther's CGI looks like shit. Shin Godzilla is the best cinematography in the series, period. Those long distance shots are impressive. Yes, they are. I would say movies that have the best cinematography, 54. Moth vs. Godzilla, obviously, for the most part, yeah. Destroy All Monsters, definitely. Destroy All Monsters actually is some really amazing cinematography. It's my personal favorite. Godzilla Skygan actually has some really good cinematography because I believe the guy they got to do the cinematography for that film did a lot of samurai films, and with those films you often get a lot of tight shots. Something just kind of fills up the entire screen, and when you watch Godzilla Skygan, you kind of get that. Godzilla or whatever monster's front screen kind of like fills up the screen, so you always got something to focus at, something to always look. Terminator Godzilla has some pretty good cinematography. And while some moments it might look not so amazing, it's pretty impressive. 84 looks amazing. Biollante looks amazing. That's about it with Heisei. King Ghidorah has some good shots, but that's about it for me at least. I always think Godzilla's Mechagodzilla 93 has some good shots, but that's about it. 98 has some pretty impressive shots. Godzilla 2000 has some pretty impressive shots.
That's about it. Pretty precious shots.
You sound muffled. Oh. You sound muffled right now. Met Garrus, no, I wouldn't really say it. GMK, yes. Godzilla gets Met Godzilla. Yeah, I would say that. Tokyo SOS, definitely. Final Wars, yeah. 2014, yes. Shin Godzilla, yes. Anime though, Godzilla Monster Planet, no. I love the shot where Godzilla 98 is on the bridge. Yeah, it's pretty good. Godzilla 1984 probably is the best when it comes to getting the scale. I will say this though, the film does kind of go a bit weird with the scale though. Like some scenes Godzilla is like really actually huge, and then he's back to 80 meters. But I will say the set design really complements Godzilla in that film and makes it great. Hedorah has some great cinematography, so do both Show MG films. Yeah, they do. I would love to see a Kill Bill style Mechagodzilla movies, like Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, because that's always actually how I view the first two Mechagodzilla movies. That's always the original two Mechagodzilla movies as the series version of Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, because the first one's obviously really action packed a lot and doesn't really have a whole lot of character growth to it. Like there's still some character intrigue, but over that it's like the fights are amazing, and then and it looks amazing. And then you get to Terminator Godzilla, and it's like the one with the more like character-driven story, and the action's a little bit put down, but you still get like some really solid action in it as well. I always view it as that. I always view Godzilla's Mechagodzilla and Terminator Godzilla as the Kill Bill films of the entire Godzilla series. Funi, you good?
Yeah.
All right, your mic's good now. You were like muffled. You sound like you were like someone just put a fucking napkin over your mouth.
Trying to find out where to chime in. I really don't have anything to chime in with.
I want to beat you up, Mifune. Whenever I meet you, I'm just stabbing you in the fucking gut.
No, you.
Nigga, please quit. You're making my tummy hurt. Yeah, I remember that meme with Squidward. It was the episode of the of whenever SpongeBob and Patrick and Squidward get like stranded, and like that kelp thing, whatever. And he's like going to SpongeBob and Patrick wanting to know if they eat. He's like, SpongeBob, you want to eat? No? Come on, Patrick. A big nigga's gotta eat. And me and my friends just made a bunch of memes of that. Like, a big nigga's gotta feast. A big nigga's gotta check his feet. A big nigga's gotta hit the beat.
Godzilla, do you take the... Yes, I take the bog pill. We've taken the bog pill already.
Yeah, we took it a lot. I'm going to confess something. I'm not that big of a fan of Final Wars. I like the monster designs, but in my opinion, the movie is not that great. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I get why people aren't a huge fan of it. For a while, when I was younger, I was kind of iffy on the film. Like, you got that stiffy Nicky Iffy.
That was a good reference.
But overall, I was always kind of mixed with the film, but as of recent, I tend to grow a lot more love with it. Because I would say this, I actually marathoned the Godzilla movies like 2 months ago, and from like 54 to Monster Planet. And Final Wars just like made me have so much appreciation for what it is, but also the Godzilla franchise as a whole. A lot of people say it isn't a good anniversary finale film, but I heavily disagree. Yeah, the movie does have some like plot issues here and there, and the characters aren't 100% amazing, but the film is still like a movie I just adore. Like it made me just love the franchise 10 times more. I remember actually when I got done watching it, I was talking to Mifune and like to a bunch of other people in the Instagram like DM chat, and I just like let out all these emotions after I watched Final Wars because it kind of made me super grateful of being a Godzilla fan, a fan of a franchise that it is, because what I love about the Godzilla franchise is that we got to see the ups and downs of it. We got to see the franchise at its highest and lowest in terms of what its state was in terms of financially or in terms of politically. And it was really nice to see how each film was built around. You got to see Toho's Dark Ages during the 70s. And not saying the movies during that time were bad. It's just more Toho was in a bad state. And we got to see like the Heisei and everything like that. Every Godzilla film is important. Every Godzilla film has a purpose, even if the ones you don't like. And overall, every Godzilla film is at least someone's favorite. Someone out there probably loves 98 way more than the others. Someone probably out there loves All Monsters Attack way more than the others.
Someone out there probably doesn't like Godzilla Monster Planet more than everyone else.
So yeah, ENSD again equals what show strive for. Universal did it before Godzilla. Godzilla did it all before Marvel.
How do you feel about Godzilla fanboys can't accept that Kong will win? Well, here's the thing. On a storytelling level, in almost any Hollow movie, the underdog character is always usually the one people root for. The movie will be in favor of, because if you make the stronger character always win out in the end, like there's no tension or whatever. Well, look at look at Rocky 4. Like obviously the Russian guy is way bigger than Rocky. That's why we go with him. Like we go the distance with him. Like see him train just so that he can actually beat him in the end.
Yeah, imagine if Drago actually won. That'd be depressing, and no one would be happy.
He wouldn't have ended the Cold War.
I love that. I actually watched that film recently in like my 3rd hour class before like school was over, and it was pretty Kino.
Rocky 4 is fucking Kino as shit.
If I can change, you can change. And all the Russian leaders start clapping.
And everyone clapped. Everyone clapped. Rocky 4 has some fucking Kino cinematography.
Yeah, I really love that montage sequence and like where he's like in Russia climbing on mountains and going through the snow. That shit was Kino. And he's like growing a beard, like a fairy Chad beard, not like a new male neck beard. He was like growing this like.
He looked like Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star, and that was Kino.
Yeah, that was really awesome. I would say Sylvester Stallone with the beard, especially in his younger days, he looked pretty fucking Chad.
Stallone was a Chad. He was always a Chad. Except maybe in Rocky 5.
Rocky 5.
Else. Rocky is a movie.
Rocky is a movie. My favorite Rocky movies are Rocky and Rocky 4. I do like Rocky 3 a lot. I find Rocky 2 fine. I think it's pretty good as well. The reason why it's just a bit lower is just because it is kind of a repeat of the first film, while also having some new interesting things. Because now Rocky's popular, so with it they kind of dive into that a bit more about how it's like for him to having now this, now being an extremely popular fighter. Rocky Balboa is fine. It's a pretty all right, good movie. Creed is also really good. I like that one too. I need to get a rewatch soon. Yeah, the sequel's coming out, so that's pretty nice. And then there's Rocky 5, which is pretty I
don't think anyone likes Rocky 5. I heard people try to say like it's like, oh, it goes back to basics of the original. But the thing is, it really doesn't, because you still have all that like the weird editing and like all the new age like music stuff that they do with Rocky 5, but except it's in the 90s. And the end fucking fight is like a fucking Steven Seagal movie.
Oh god, I will say this one thing that always confused me. The one thing that always kind of weirded me out though is I was watching Rocky 4 and then there's just that fucking robot that just kind of comes out of there like just like drops a music video on your ass when you first get introduced to it, and you're just there like, oh my god, what's going on?
How the fuck couldn't they have just sold that thing in Rocky 5 and like earned back half of his debt?
Yeah. All his bills went down the trash because he paid for like a super, super amazing robot who can talk and has a personality and really good artificial intelligence. Like that shit probably could cost him so much money.
How do we fucking make the Rocky franchise back to the first one? How do we make him poor again? I don't fucking know. He's in debt now. Okay.
Oh, and there's also Burning Heart, made sung by the Survivor. In a burning heart, it's about to run. I love that.
You know what? You know your movie's fucking Kino when the guy who composed the Transformers movie does your soundtrack.
Oh, that's amazing.
And Drago has the Unicron theme.
You know what I really love though is that Apollo in the beginning of the movie, you could just tell that he's just more kind of he's frustrated and sad that he just kind of lost it. No one really cares about him really a whole lot anymore. He's not on the top anymore, you know, and he's kind of looked down by people. So with that, he's one of the he's the first. He's immediately like going in to fight Drago because he wants to at least gain that popularity again and that rush. Even to the point where he's like getting beaten up to the point where he could die, and he just tells him, "Don't stop. I'm going to keep fighting." And eventually, he does end up dying.
Don't throw in the towel.
And that shit got really sad. Like, there's so much character intrigue with Apollo in the fourth one because you could just tell he's got nothing left. People don't really care about him anymore. He's not on the top anymore. So with that, he's going out with a bang, and it does get pretty sad when he does get killed in the end. But I do really like the comparison. Like Drago comes to America and they're having like this huge dance concert thing going on. You know, Apollo's coming in. He's wearing all red, white, and blue. He's ready to fight. And then they go to Russia and they're playing the Soviet Union theme.
That scene was
that scene was like really actually like eerie because you just see like this flag. Like the Soviet Union flag rising up with like Drago on it, and Drago just with no expression keeps looking at Rocky, and you just kind of get this implication that he's just looking at Rocky. He's like, "See, that's how we do it in Russia. This is me. It's me everywhere. People are rooting for me." And all he does is just stare at Rocky. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't say anything. He just stares at him, and you get so much emotion from it.
And the thing is that Drago isn't even really a villain in that movie. Like, yeah, he kills Apollo Creed, but like that's only because like that's his sport. Like he didn't want like to be like he just wants to be an athlete. That's all he wants to do.
Even though in the end he goes like, I'm winning this.
Yeah, he's tired of being a puppet of the Politburo.
Yeah, because they called him names and he just like threw him away. He like picked him up by his shirt, threw him.
He's like, Drago, your mom gay. And then he picks him like, no, you.
Yeah, and then I really like that because obviously while the series have shown Rocky fighters that are obviously stronger than him in terms of strength. Drago is definitely the one that you actually were kind of scared of. Like he had some form of presence. Like yeah, you got you got T, Mr. T. You got like Mr. T and all that. Like he was cool, but he was just more like stupid, loud, big bad version. Like I'm gonna fight you, Rocky, like that. And then you get like Drago, and he's like a machine. He's scary, and he's artificial in how he fights and how he moves and talks and he emotes, and you just kind of get this feel like this isn't human. But I really love the part where they actually they actually make him bleed, and they go, he's not a machine, he's human. And that's when like Rocky gets up, and they finally realize that they actually could win this. They got him to bleed.
I ain't got time to bleed.
And I love it every time they like a round got restarted. They kept saying no pain, and he kept going.
They've only made more Rocky movies where he fought like actors and action stars from other countries. Like imagine a Rocky movie where he fights like Jackie Chan.
Oh my god! Oh, so basically Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes, he fights Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Bloodsport's a Kino movie.
It is fucking Kino. I rated that shit 5 stars on Letterboxd. I'm just like, yeah, dude, that's fucking 5 stars right there, easy. It's also one of Trump's favorite movies too.
Kino. Fuck S.C.
Bloodsport has fucking amazing cinematography too.
It's about to burst. It's
like, okay, USA.
I really want to see JCVD. I'm hoping I get that right, which is John Claude Van Damme's initials. I heard that movie's really good, and I really want to see it.
I want to see it since like 2013, but I still haven't yet. But I need to.
Yeah, I heard it's really good. It kind of, I would say it's like the Birdman. It's like the Birdman for like. I don't know. Yeah, it's like the Birdman for like people like Van Damme. Like the buff macho men of their time. Because Birdman was obviously like Michael Keaton. Kind of like looking at how his career was after Batman. And John Claude and JCVD is more like based around like John Claude Van Damme, like his career after like his movie stuff's kind of over. He's not really too big and such, and kind of shows where he's been. And I really like that.
The funny thing is that actually kind of gave him a revival. Like he's still doing like action movies, but like people say that he actually does good action movies now.
Yeah, I really want to check him out.
It's funny that like him and I think Stallone got like the best out of the post 80s and 90s action star things.
Yeah, Arnold kind of got cut.
Yeah, he's in like movies, but like none of them are good. He's in one with Jackie Chan, I think, where he plays like some kind of Austrian guy. And then Steven Seagal just makes like nonstop Kino. Yeah, the new Arnold Schwarzenegger is joining The Rock Johnson. He got replaced.
In terms of popularity.
The thing is that Stallone, for all like the shit that he gets, he's actually can be a pretty good actor.
Yeah, Arnold, like the Rocky shit. Look at that. He's really good with his eyes. He can tell a lot of emotion.
To be more than just like a muscular guy.
Yeah, like while I love Predator, like sometimes he does get a bit like cheesy in that movie. Come on, kill me! Come on!
Or like Stallone in First Blood, like that's fucking Kino.
Yeah, Stallone is just Stallone in First Blood, Stallone in Rocky and Rocky 4, He's pretty good. I would say he's definitely really good with his eyes. Like you take away his dialogue from an entire movie, and he can act out the entire movie by just looking at you, and you could get what he's thinking. You could get what expression he wants to make, what his emotions are.
Now I want to make Stallone shit posting on Instagram now.
And it's burning hard. It's about to burn. Yeah, Bionicle is fucking Kino. I remember growing up on that as a kid. The story's really good.
My friends like Bionicle, but I only saw the first movie, and the first movie was Bionic Kino.
And then there was the two films after. The second film was actually pretty Kino as well. The third film was kind of and the fourth film was even more but the first two were obviously the ones that people tend to turn to the most. The story overall was like fucking amazing for like just a kid's toy. Like it had a really litty story. Like I was blown away, and it shocked me how we never actually got like a big budget Lego movie, like the Lego movie or the Lego Batman movie. Like we got a movie of it.
Bionicle.
What?
Live action. Peter Jackson's live action Bionicle.
Oh my god.
With Dwayne Johnson
as Matanui. And Kevin Hart is Tahu.
With like Christian Bale, Dwayne Johnson, Stallone, like all these A-list actors.
I don't know where you just got fucking Charlie Sheen as Makuta.
hey guys, like
I am on a drug. It's called Makuta.
Did you hear about the Charlie Sheen 9/11 movie?
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that.
Did you actually watch it, or did you actually just hear about it?
No, I just heard about it.
Apparently, the funniest thing about the movie is no one in that entire set actually knew that Charlie Sheen used to be a 9/11 truther.
Oh my god!
Like he was like it's a controlled demolition.
Oh, that was great. Just knowing the context behind like him being in a 9/11 movie is like, are you fucking kidding me?
Like, when I was a kid, I actually was like not. I'm not gonna say I was in the 9/11. I'm saying I was really interested about the facts surrounding 9/11. So there was like this movie that came out, like, oh, that's a pretty cool, interesting movie. Years later, I was like, oh wait, this had Nicolas Cage in it. Oh god, I'm afraid to revisit it now. It's a little bit of a meme.
Yeah, like I remember when I first heard of the movie and saw trailers of it, that one starring Nicolas Cage. I'm like, oh wow, this actually looks pretty good. But as I gotten older and became more familiar with Nicolas Cage, I'm like, oh god, this might be really fucking bad.
Although, except Ghost Rider is always Kino.
Oh, Ghost Rider is amazing. I remember me and my friends, we were like making jokes of it, like the part where he's like jumping over all the helicopters. I remember making a joke while watching it, and the joke was when your dip's across town while he's jumping over all the fucking helicopters.
Nicolas Cage needs to be Ghost Rider in the MCU.
He needs to be scratching out the door.
I want to see Nicolas Cage fucking standing side by side with Robert Downey Jr. and fucking Benedict Cumberbatch.
Super Toe remix just said the most Kino's thing I ever saw. Tiger blood can't melt steel beams. If you guys want to know the context of that, I think it was lion's blood maybe, but there was like one time Charlie. He's like Charlie. Yeah, Charlie Sheen was like on top of like a building, just like drinking fucking tiger blood or whatever.
I wonder if HIV can though, or whatever STD he contracted that he didn't tell anyone he had.
I am on a drug. It's called AIDS.
I remember, like, just to troll my friends, I was like, "Oh, dude, the Ashton Kutcher 2.5 Men. Now that was a good show. Like when Charlie Sheen was on, it was terrible. When Ashton Kutcher was on, that one, it was Kino with that." Mm-hmm. But just have the most unpopular opinions about like anything, where it's like Rocky 5, like that was the real Kino Rocky movie. Like I don't like the new Deadpool. Like the Deadpool from X-Men vs. Wolverine. Now that was Kino.
You know, I actually thinking about it, I actually do kind of prefer the characters. Well, no, the main character in Predator 2 more than Predator. Like, I like Predator. I do think all the group of casts are fine. And I do think it is a slightly superior movie to Predator 2, but I just find Donald Glover just way more likable and a better character. And I do like the climax between him and the Predator. I thought that shit was really Kino.
Wait, what did you call? Wait, I keep because there's also Donald Glover.
Oh, Donald Glover! I messed up. Oh shit. Danny Glover.
Donald Glover in the
Childish Gambino fights off the Predator. This is America.
We got predators. Not just the sexual ones in Hollywood.
Not Harvey Weinstein, all right? Some fucking Mandible shit.
Not Dan Schneider.
All right, okay. He's not trying to take pictures of your feet on a Nickelodeon show. No, he just wants to rip your fucking neck out.
Oh, fuck.
Turns out Peter Cullen, the guy who voices Optimus Prime, actually did the Predator's Predator
he voiced King Kong in 76.
Yeah, that's pretty Kino.
And then, what's even funnier is that Megatron voiced Godzilla in the 98 movie, and by extension, the American cut of Godzilla 2000.
Yes! Kino!
It was meant to be.
Oh, God, man. Man, Frank Welker, you know, it does get kind of sad that these guys are really old and sooner or later, you know, they might pass away, and knowing that they spent the rest of their lives doing Bayformers. But honestly, I would love to.
They were the best part of those movies.
Yeah, they were. Sadly, I think Frank Welker got more cucked in the end because he got to voice Galvatron, who was barely in the movie. And then he voiced Megatron, who just got completely fucking cucked. And next thing you know, that series is now ended, and it's going to be like rebooted in like the 2000, like
maybe they'll
2020s.
Maybe they'll bring him back
if he's not dead.
No, he's going to live forever.
We don't know that, you know, because obviously telling by their age, something might happen. They might get older.
Don't kill Frank Welker, for the love of God. Please.
You don't know what might happen. Frank Welker might stop breathing all of a sudden, and I'll just be there with a knife. TFP needs a live action remake and actually make it good. I think Transformers Prime is fine on its own. I don't think it needs a live action remake. I will say the human characters aren't that great, but I think overall the characters are just pretty good. I think
I used to be into Transformers quite a bit. I remember watching Armada, Energon, and the third one as a kid.
Oh, Cybertron?
It was okay. I thought, like, I'm sure if I watch it now, I'll be like, well, this animation is pretty fucking choppy.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
Energon was shit. It was literally just the show. Well, the whole show was all three of those shows were just fucking gimmicks, now that I think about it.
Yeah, that's kind of my biggest problem. Like, I like season 3 of Transformers Prime a lot, but my biggest gimmick is that it does kind of. Not my biggest gimmick. My biggest issue is that it does kind of feel a bit gimmicky in the end. Like you got Optimus Prime's new armor, and you got the Predacon, whatever, and it's called Beast Hunters, even though it's completely unnecessary because the Predacon is not really relevant to the plot a whole lot.
I will say this, though. I did see the original 80s Transformers show.
I did too.
Season 1, it's okay. Season 1's okay, but Season 2 is actually pretty damn fun.
Even though there's some weird-ass episodes, like when they're like on that planet where they're small, like they're toys, basically. And then there's like that weird-ass animation error at the end.
And then there's the movie, of course, which is key.
Yeah, the movie is just absolutely based. Like people who say they don't like it, fuck them. I remember I was watching watching videos for the animated film.
It's also an anime movie, technically. It's an anime movie, so
even more. And it had the dying Orson Welles voice Unicron. Even though he hated the role, he sure knocked it out of the park.
Dude, fuck Citizen Kane. Orson Welles was the best in Transformers the movie. That was like his finest role.
Shit, I forgot where I was. Fucking damn it.
Orson Welles.
No, not with Orson Welles, but with like before.
Some people say they don't like the movie. Oh, also it's produced by.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I forgot. Like one day I was just like searching through fucking YouTube for like Transformers the movie reviews because I was bored, and I found the guy in Movie Bob. Now I heard about this guy a little bit in the past. I heard he was kind of a cuck soy boy. Yeah, Movie Blob, whatever. Movie Bob. Yeah.
So the guy who skipped out his grandma's funeral to play Super Mario Brothers. I'm not making that up, by the way.
Oh my god. Well, I went out and I found his video, and I didn't really know it was him at first until I started watching and I noticed the name. And I'm like, oh, this Movie Bob. All right, I'll listen to him. And while he did give praise to the film, he just always kept fucking referencing the politics around the movie. And this movie doesn't really have any politics, but he keeps making you feel bad about the fact that you bought toys during the 1980s because of the economy at the time.
Dude,
like
people.
No, he kept doing that. It's like, I'm sorry, but the toys you bought at the time was due to this and that during this type of era in the 80s with Ronald Reagan and all of that.
Dude,
and he just made you
based. Like fucking snort cocaine out of a hooker's ass. That's fucking based.
And the entire time you're just basically just going like, dude, I just want to watch a video of you reviewing Transformers. I don't want to feel bad for buying toys when I was a kid. God, he tries to make you feel like the worst fucking person in the world for buying this shit, and then you just absolutely just want to click off the video. I clicked off the video after that. I could not stand it. He went on for like probably 3 times about it, and the third time I was just done because he was making me feel bad for liking things as a kid, wanting toys as a kid. Of course, I wasn't around in the 80s, but I did buy a lot of toys when I was young, and so with that, I'm just like saying like, oh, so I shouldn't have bought into this stuff, one of my favorite franchises. Okay, I'm done, and I just leave.
You ever just buy toys just to flex on cuck soy boys who say that it's evil?
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking buy even more Godzilla shit just so I can flex on all these troll these libtards epic style. It's like fucking Norman England when he brings Trump into anything about Shin Godzilla.
Oh my god, yeah. Shin Godzilla is right wing, so Trump obviously like just came in and just fucking whipped his ass on it.
And it's even more retarded. It's like everyone's saying like, oh, it's nationalistic. I'm like, dude, fucking Godzilla against Mechagodzilla is literally about Japan making a weapon to defend themselves.
Like it's just not a good argument because the thing is the film it's nationalistic but in the best way possible because it criticizes the country but gives it constructive criticism, criticizes the country, but also builds it up and showing what it could become, showing that the country needs to create a more identity to itself and become more independent in terms of the decisions, but also not trying to spend so much time trying to make them as well. And I really like that because it basically shows the movie Japan at its weakest point in the beginning, but so Japan evolved just like Godzilla as well. It's becoming something so much more, something so much greater by the end of the film.
And oh god, there's like this whole big thing that he wrote about how he claims the film is sexist.
Oh my god!
I'm like, they're actually female. They are better. Like, no, this is gonna go on. It's like, this one actually had female characters, so like compared to fucking, I don't know, both the American ones, they were both better written than both those. But okay, he's like, oh, it's what's the second thing? he's like, oh, they both, of course, the handsome male lead, like he gives all the information. Like, actually, I'm like, if you think he's handsome, that's cool, I guess, no homo. Then there's like this whole thing where he goes on about how, what was it? Oh, let me think. There was this really big thing that he calls basically Hideki Anno a shut-in otaku. I'm just like, dude, he's actually married, is actually making movies. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, thing is, I have to mention about the sexist part. Yagashi, yes, he does give like some important information in the film, but every character in the movie does that. Every character in the movie has something to say. Even the American characters, people you barely see in the movie, give off information that informs us about another character in the movie or about Godzilla. So it's not just Yagashi. Yagashi is, of course, the more main focus out of all the characters, the one that gets more focused on. But every other character, for the most part, is useful to the film. And in terms of sexism, bullshit. I understand Japan does have a bit of an issue in terms of women roles. You know, women are obviously more put onto like secretary roles and actually being like anywhere higher. And that type of role, that's something, you know, that would make sense to talk about. But the film never lessens women at all. Yeah, there's not a whole lot, but the women that are in the film do have authority. They stick out. It's not sexism. Kyoko has authority. Hiromi has authority. Hiromi does a lot of research about Godzilla. The film, the characters need Hiromi to help them into succeeding and learning about Godzilla. And they need to do that.
She's basically responsible for the whole airstrike at the very end. And she puts her career on the line to do it.
And so overall, it's not sexist. Yeah, of course, there's not a lot of female characters in this movie. There's really about 4, and one of them is extremely minor. She's just some tea lady. But overall, the 3 characters we have in the film, the 3 female characters we have in the film are useful. They actually do something. There's nothing sexist about it.
I don't know if August Rigoni said anything about the whole, the whole sexism thing. But I'm just saying, he liked Monster Planet, and Monster Planet literally only has 1 female character, and she doesn't do shit.
Yeah, if he calls
Shin Godzilla sexist but likes that movie, that's pretty hypocritical. That's some pretty hive mind mentality stuff right there.
Yeah, and then he says like Shin Godzilla's divisive in the U.S. I get it. This movie has had some negative, negative reactions to it. But if you go on Letterboxd, go on Rotten Tomatoes, go on IMDb, go on fucking Metacritic, and I understand you shouldn't follow these websites in terms of if you see something or not necessarily. Of course, sometimes it is fine to see it if you think seeing a movie is worth your time or not. But in reality, you should be more focused on a critic that you share similar opinions with and that you can trust. But when you look at those websites, overall majority people look at the film positive. They do. I'm not trying to say that everyone loves this movie. Of course not. There are people who have a negative reaction to it. But saying that the film is divisive in the fan base just isn't good. That's a poor argument. That's a poor statement. That's inaccurate.
That's actually legitimate fake news.
That is fake news. It's like whatever, a Screen Rant saying Shin Godzilla 2 canceled even though it was never even confirmed to begin with.
I'm super big on like fucking criminal. I'm like, it was never even confirmed, so it can't be canceled. Like, I'm super big on like trying to tell everyone like it was never even a thing, so that some like Reddit incel doesn't go, guys, we got Shin Godzilla 2 canceled. We did it, Reddit.
Yeah, it's basically like this. What we really heard about Toho was just basically people who worked on Shin Godzilla saying, a sequel maybe, I don't know, nothing's confirmed yet, and then they say, yeah, sorry guys, the sequel, nah, it's not gonna happen. It wasn't canceled.
Like, it wasn't even. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Like, Hideki Anno never even said anything about doing a sequel. He just said, I'm going to work on Eva now. Shinji Higuchi says I think he said he was not at liberty to discuss anything. I think the main actor said that he would like to do it if it was going to happen. But the president just said, the president of Toho, all he said was that they want to expand the franchise and give it to other directors and other visions.
Yeah, that's basically how it is. Like, all the people who worked on the film just kind of go, I don't know, maybe not, I don't know. And basically it's just said like, yeah, we're not making one. It was never confirmed. Like, people obviously, the only thing we really got of the sequel is, I don't know, maybe. And that's it. It was never confirmed. It was never put down into the dirt saying this will happen. That just never did. And of course I bet Toho was like if they were going to do a sequel, they needed Higuchi and Anno, and of course Anno wasn't really going to be available. He's doing his other project, so with that, they just said, you know what? How about we just do something differently? How about we just make the cinematic universe in like 2021?
Or I'm waiting for some like Reddit insult to be like, guys, of course that just means Toho hated how Shin Godzilla did and did poorly. I'm just like, it was literally the highest attended Godzilla movie since the fucking 60s.
And it got 7 Academy Awards, including like Best Picture.
Japanese Academy Awards, so not like this like politically shit.
Yeah, Japanese Academy Awards are fucking kino because they actually give a shit about the movies they talk about, and not having Jimmy Kimmel make some stupid ass Donald Trump comment.
Or like, oh, your movie doesn't have a black guy, so therefore it must lose.
No, I'm just looking at another Trump tweet.
Now, when Seth MacFarlane hosted the Oscars, that was kino.
You want to know why Japan isn't really politically charged?
Because it's because there.
Yeah, it's pretty much all Asians. They're not as diverse here in America. In Japan, you're not going to get a lot of white guy, black guys, Mexicans, and whatever in your movie.
I guess I might as well speak for the minority in air quotes community, because I don't know if you can really call Hispanic people a minority community in America. But
they're breeding like rats.
But like none of the like, I'm just gonna say is the normal Hispanic people don't give a shit about like politics or anything like that. Like we just do our own thing. Like in my experience, Hispanic people don't really care. Like say if you're gay, if you're whatever, if you're Catholic, if you're whatever. It's just like, oh, you exist. So, like, hey, how's it going? And in my experience, black people are like that too. Like they're like, oh, hey, how's it going? There's like a more there's a sense of, I guess, what's valued is like community and all that stuff. Not so much like, oh, what race you are, just like the community of people. But now the whole like SJW politics, like that just divides everything. That like kind of sucks.
Oh yeah.
This podcast got topical.
Yeah, it did. It did. Because we ranted about August Ragone and Norman England about the comments they made to Shin Godzilla. Now, thing is, they can simply just say they don't like Shin Godzilla and give some fair criticism to it. A good example is Patrick Alvin. He does not like the movie, and he gave a really good argument and a very good reason why he does not like the movie and why he thinks the movie is just really mediocre. Patrick Alvin did a great job at it. I read his review. I did not agree with him on the things he said for the most part, but he made his points stand out. They were understandable, and I really enjoyed this video. He did a good job actually telling you why he doesn't like it, but giving some form of logic and understanding.
Like even if he disagrees with what he says, like he's at least presenting it in a way that's like, oh, it's like sophisticated. But like,
yeah, he's not spurging out. He's not like, it's so bad. Like he's not flipping his hands around and getting mad.
And normally they're like really condescending and pretentious about it. Like that's how they present themselves as.
Plus Patrick Alvin's keynote because he does not like Monster Planet.
Oh, Super Toe Remix is like the good thing is that about the old guard is they don't have much time left. Oh, that's a good point that you brought up. How in '91 when King Ghidorah came out, there was a lot of like American critics saying how this movie was shitting on Americans, but it was that old guard of people saying like, oh no, it's not like really shitting on Americans. It's your guys taking it out of context. But now when this movie comes out, Shin Godzilla, they're like, oh, it's shitting on Americans. I'm just like, fuck.
It's not like. I will say the film is a bit on the nose about Americans. Like they're like, oh, this is like our nuclear evolution, whatever, nuclear age, whatever, and all of that. And when like the president's talking to Kyoko, it's like, and mud will stick, whatever. I will say that was moments where I'm kind of about, like they just like feel way too on the nose. It feels, of course, by people who aren't exactly familiar to how American people talk, it just comes off their motivations a bit more. Like, look what we're doing, like that. And that's like, and plus the American actors aren't that great either. But overall, like
something from behind, Bomber 2 and Bomber 1, Roger Payback.
Because the thing is, and I have to say this, in terms of how they are, Americas are treated in a kind of a conflictive relationship with Japan. They want to do things, but of course Japan doesn't want to do what they do, so it more just kind of comes down to them understanding each other and more of them just kind of coming to agreement in the end and working together to take on Godzilla. That's why the US gave Japan all their drones shoot Godzilla so Godzilla can drain out all his energy on them.
Like, it's like he's saying that, like, oh, Shin Godzilla is the worst anti-American Godzilla movie in like history. I'm just like, Godzilla literally fucking kills Americans in King Ghidorah.
He looks at them straight in the fucking eye and just burns them to death. The bad guy
in King Ghidorah is literally a white American male
who speaks Japanese pretty fluently.
And then, what else? It's like, yeah, it's like, dislike the movie if you want, but don't be like a fucking spurg or like a fucking pretentious cock about it.
Yeah, like when we talk about the film, we make sure not to act like that either, because that even goes with people positive about the film. Don't act like a spurg. Don't act like a pretentious cunt when you like talk about it. Like, oh, this film's a masterpiece, and anyone who says it's bad obviously just does not understand what the film.
Oh my gosh, guys! Did you see that new part of the Shin Godzilla movie where it was Kino, like that shit.
Yeah, and then they get mad when other people say it's bad. Like, the thing is, because I will say this, August Ragone has at least responded to people disagreeing with him in at least a mature light. Like, because the thing is, I always notice with these like Godzilla people like Norman England and August Ragone and all of them, they can be very professional when they need to, but then they just act like a child in the next part. Like they go very sophisticated, and you have some form of respect for them, and then they just completely lose it by just like spurging out and acting like kids, like Shin Godzilla sexes, and you just go like, okay, what the fuck just happened?
Oh, Dini Weenie, Biollante shits on Ceradians. Yeah, Biollante I'm sure Biollante today people would say is Islamophobic or whatever.
Shin Godzilla shitted on those towel heads.
That scene in fucking Biollante with Kirishima. It was in the Sam Raimi cut of the movie.
Spider-Man 2.1.
You're late, Parker. Always late.
I don't want to go.
Remake of Godzilla vs. Biollante with Mr. Aziz as the Ceradian agent. You're late, Shirogami. Always late.
Oh yeah. So. Yeah.
This podcast got topical. We started like just shit posting, then we actually went to talking about Stallone's career to like fucking film criticism.
Yeah, because it just kind of desires that. Biollante is definitely Islamophobic. It's fucking Kino for that though.
It predicted Islamophobia.
Oh yeah, I remember. I think did you mention David Collette made like a whole thing about like Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, how they didn't make a film about 9/11?
Here's the thing about that. So I like his book, at least the first iteration of it, the Godzilla filmography book. Now, if you don't like Godzilla x Mechagodzilla, even though it's my favorite movie, I'll sort of get it if you can actually like present like a decent argument. But he didn't even talk about the movie until the very end. He just kept talking about 9/11 the entire chapter, and then it's like, oh yeah,
talk about terrorism.
It's like this movie's like, oh, this movie's more of the same, yada yada yada, and then the chapter just ends. I'm just like, nigga, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, that was a bit weird. And thing is, the only thing you could really...
So the quote from him is that I wish...
Go ahead.
He says that... Oh, I'm sorry, but he says, I wish that Toho would have done something that was more like topical about 9/11, even if they wouldn't have been able to do it right. But I'm just like, dude, do you know how many American movies try to do that and it fucking sucked? And it was really the wrong place and time to do it? Godzilla should never be fucking about American politics. Really.
Plus, the politics in 9/11 just don't really work. Like, I would say this, you can have, like, what works in a Godzilla movie in terms of 9/11 related is imagery. You could have, like, Godzilla destroy a city and make it look similar to the Twin Towers falling. You could do that, have imagery in it. But trying to carry on the politics and the situation that comes from 9/11, it just doesn't work. Because the thing is, when you do terrorism for Godzilla, the terrorism in 9/11 is religious. Well, the one in like Biollante, because that's a clear example, isn't. It's more just biological warfare. It's more like people just trying to get their hands on a weapon rather than actually like taking down towers. They're fighting over G cells, not trying to get to Americans and terrorize them.
And the thing is, I would argue like there is even a bit of maybe you could actually say that Godzilla x Mechagodzilla kind of is a little bit of maybe this is. I mean, I'm reaching here.
The absolute zero scene.
No, I'm saying like because we talked about our podcast how like Godzilla X Mechagodzilla is actually really optimistic compared to every other Millennium Godzilla movie. Like, it's probably one of the few Godzilla movies that ends like really optimistically, and how like they actually go out of their way to explain, okay, we evacuated almost everyone out of the city. So I guess it's like it was trying to be like, oh shit, people might actually think that people are dying. You're like, oh, we save people. Or like we show people getting evacuated. So I guess maybe that might be kind of a response where they know that people are probably sensitive to that. I don't know. I'm probably reaching, but
yeah, that does seem a bit reaching.
I'm just saying the movie was really optimistic compared to every other Millennium Godzilla movie when you think about it.
That also kind of brings up, I know this is kind of like out there and a bit weird for the topic, but I actually did watch.
Yes, we did.
Actually, I actually did watch Godzilla vs. Megaguirus recently, and this is my biggest issue with it. So in the film, Godzilla's treated as the main antagonist. He is, and he's from that from beginning to end. There's never one moment where you feel like the characters understand him. The characters throughout the entire film are motivated to get rid of Godzilla. Then Megaguirus is in the movie, and you never get the same feeling as Megaguirus. Megaguirus, when she appears, she just feels like a pest just for a monster to fight Godzilla. Godzilla kills, and then the movie continues on focusing on Godzilla. She just really feels out of place, and it just doesn't really affect the film structure a whole lot. She just feels there for a monster plot. The characters don't really talk about her a whole lot. They don't really mention her, and every time they do, they always just talk about what it relates to Godzilla, and that's ultimately really it. The reason why I think Godzilla 2000 did it way better is because Godzilla is looked upon as like not an antagonist, but just like a force of nature from the beginning. And as the film goes on, characters actually start to understand Godzilla and respect him by the end of the film, even when he's like destroying the city. You still get this feel of like the characters getting to just know Godzilla more as this experience goes on. The monster focuses on Godzilla. It obviously has relations to Godzilla, but at the same time, the film does focus on the monster on its own. They try to figure out its motivations that, of course, relate to Godzilla, but you also get to learn about the monster's overall motivations besides trying to get Godzilla DNA, and you start to learn more and more about it to the point where the monster itself becomes the antagonist by the end of the film, and you start rooting for Godzilla and humanity to prevail over this monster so they can beat it up so the world doesn't end and Godzilla can become the ruler of Earth, the protector of it overall. Yeah, and that's the type of vibe you get from it. Well, Godzilla vs. Megaguirus is just like this. Godzilla appears. We don't like him. Megaguirus appears. She's annoying. We don't like Godzilla still. Godzilla fights Megaguirus. Kills Megaguirus. Megaguirus is out of the way. We still hate Godzilla. Kill Godzilla. In 2000, it's like this. People are conflicted what to do with Godzilla. They don't know what to do. People want to study him. People want to try to kill him because obviously he causes a lot of destruction. But as the film goes on, a new threat arrives and it starts to attack Godzilla, but also humanity. And so with this, humanity tries to take it on, fail, and Godzilla takes it on. And they fight, and at the end, Godzilla defeats it, and everyone, instead of no longer having this hatred or conflicted feeling about Godzilla, they all just kind of come to a realization that Godzilla is a necessity to the world. He exists for a reason, and he has to live in the world that is there.
And that's probably the one thing that I did think 2000 did better was that I didn't think Orga left much of an impression to me.
He did on me, though. He did on me.
I didn't think he was very memorable, but they did leave him toward the end, which I think is better. Granted, I still think 2000 is my least favorite Millennium Godzilla movie, but I guess it did that pretty well. The manga, like Toho Remix says, the manga is, in my opinion, much better.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's like my favorite Millennium film, and that's your least favorite. See, guys, me and Mifune are a hive mind.
Wait, what? No, hive mind means you have the same opinion.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned.
Aren't a hive mind.
Me and you disagree. So we aren't a hive mind.
We just happen to love both of our favorite films just happen to be Goodfellas. That's all. Goodfellas
actually,
is fucking great.
Where's Sony printed movie being a lot brighter.
Yeah, I was gonna say that in the Japanese DVD prints, that flaw isn't there. I actually noticed it. Like in the Sony Blu-ray, depending on what TV you watch it on, it's not there. But with certain prints of the movie, you do see it because of the way I think some Sony TVs work. So I don't think it's their fault. It's more Sony's fault. Like
I also don't
subtitles.
I also don't think Megaguirus is a good effect overall. I think Megaguirus looks pretty. Like she barely flaps her wings, and when she does flap her wings a lot, it's just digital.
Well, I think there was an explanation, I think, in the movie that, like, part of the reason why she floats is because it's something about magnetism or whatever.
That's just a shitty excuse. Is like, we don't know how to flap our wings good. Put it in the movie.
I do think it's fucking the digital effects for her flapping was better whenever it wasn't still.
Yeah. There was those weird moments though whenever Godzilla like turns to the screen and it's like slow motion. Like there's some weird moments where slow motion's like on and like it slow motion's on and it gets like the frame rate drops and everything. I do think the film's fine, but I do think the film's fine. It's like a 6 out of 10 for me because because thing is, I originally really didn't like that film. It was like one of my least favorite Godzilla movies. It was like 3 out of 10 for me. But I gave it a rewatch recently, and I just realized I was being way too fucking harsh on the movie, and so I raised it up to a 6 out of 10 because there are things I like about it. But in terms of just plot, Megaguirus, and some of the characters, that's ultimately where the film falls flat. But the characters grudge against Godzilla and try to defeat him and everything like that. The world itself and everything. And I thought the main character was pretty fun. And the soundtrack's obviously amazing. Overall, that's why I give it a 6 out of 10. So, yeah.
Yeah. Fuck it. I do think Godzilla X Mechagodzilla is basically the better version of that movie.
Yeah.
It's basically... One movie is like 100-something minutes. Godzilla X Mechagodzilla is like 88 minutes, and it cut down all the stuff that it basically put Megaguirus and the fucking Dimension Tide thing into basically one character, and that was Kiryu. Like basically put the plot point of the monster that he fights and the super weapon into one thing. You see, that's a good way of like, I guess, copying movies plot. Like I won't mind if you take a movie's plot and basically kind of repeat it if you can make it better.
And Akane is way better than Godzilla than the Godzilla vs. Megaguirus antagonist. I mean, not antagonist, protagonist.
Just because she's a woman doesn't mean she's a bad guy, Dylan.
Well, because in Megaguirus, they both have a similar backstory, but in Megaguirus, she's kind of like a hard ass. She's already tough, and she's willing to fight Godzilla and everything like that. She never has this really she has guilt, but it's usually guilt that kind of like makes her want to fight Godzilla and then take him on. Well, Akane, like she actually has this amazing arc where in the beginning, after causing the death of several of her squad, she actually does have this guilt, and she becomes distant and becomes a lot more quiet. But as people are willing to open up to her more and willing to let her know that your mistakes are an accident, and so we don't hold that against you. Besides, like one character, and even then, he kind of forms some sort of respect for her. And just overall, she has an amazing character arc. Her being the shy character that's embarrassed of what she's done, to a character that's filled with so much optimism and personality because of the events that happen in the film. While Mechaguirus, she's basically like an early Haru, except a lot more tamed.
That's what
like
Haru's like. Haru's character arc about like whole I hate Godzilla, like that's literally the whole I hate the lead monster has been done in it was been done in Iris, it was done with Yuki and Space Godzilla, and it's been done with Kiriko and Megaguirus. But I think that Haru's like the worst version of said character.
Yeah, like the best in my opinion is out of that character is like Akane and I forgot Ayane from like
Ayana.
Gamera 3. Yeah, Ayana, her, like those are obviously two amazing examples of how to do that.
I was gonna say it was funny you used the word embarrassed, like for what's the shit. I'm like, she's more depressed. Like, you make it seem like, oops, sorry, I killed your brother.
I'm sorry. My pants fell in public. No.
Oh, no,
people sold me underwear.
Sorry. It's like she's depressed.
I tripped in public. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I tripped and killed my squad mates. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, fuck. Both of which actresses are actually on Instagram too.
Neato. Of course, you get scared one day that Akane's gonna crawl up on catchy shit posting and completely just like.
There are several posts where I hashtagged her name in Japanese. I'm just like, oh god, oh fuck, do not read that post. Do not. But luckily, I don't use my identity on that thing, so I'm good.
Yeah, I should probably ban your account. Not ban it, but block it. And with that, my phone is about to die, so I guess it's a good place to end it here. We had a fun time discussing things Godzilla related, politics, Rocky. and Rocky Stallone and a bunch of actors as well, like Jean-Claude Van Damme. All that. It was pretty fun. It's nice to come back to these live streams and such, but remember, they're not going to become frequent. They're going to be like special occasions. Obviously, we had a lot of fun here, and I feel like it's better to have fun and not try to tire it out. You know, I think a good example of that is comparing this live stream series to like maybe the Godzilla series in the past, because obviously you could tell, like, you know, it gets tired and exhausted, and nobody really wants to do them anymore. Hasty series is a good example.
We should have a Rocky marathon, Evil Ishiro Honda.
Oh yeah, we should. I think I actually do own like all the movies on DVD.
Same.
I don't think I own Rocky Balboa, Creed, or Rocky 5, but I do own like the first 4. So I guess I could do that.
I think he definitely must love the Rocky movies. I mean, he has to.
Yeah, he's a wrestler.
That'll be fucking, you know, like it gets like really depressing when we talk about Rocky 1 or Rocky Balboa, but like it's all fun and stuff when we're talking about Rocky 3 and 4.
Yeah.
It's like shit. This is depressing.
So yeah, this was pretty fun. If you like this live stream, like it. If you want to see more videos like this and other content I got, subscribe to me. Also subscribe to Dr. Mifune here as Kyoko and Patterson.
Smash
He's
that
got a
fucking like button.
Fucking rape it. And
Awesome-tacular.
I'm just saying. That's a Ray William Johnson reference, by the way.
I saw it and I clapped because I loved it as a kid.
So subscribe to both our YouTube channels. I'll have his link in the description below. I got a few videos I'm coming up with. Hopefully I could get at least one out very soon. Just overall, this was a fun stream. Thank you guys for joining in, hopping up, and asking us some great things. And while we might have not gotten to all your comments while we were talking everything, it was so great to see you guys communicate. And then, you know what? It was just fun to see you guys around. So yeah, it was pretty fun. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Kino.
Bye.
Epic.